Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Nexus Gaming Series, the grand finals for Division Heroic. The best of the best that NGS has to offer are in the grand finals today. They've had to fight long and hard, and in fact, it is a bit of a surprise. But before we go into that, I've realised I turned off the nameplates. Let's see if I still have those while I turn them on. But first, I am Tetcher. I am one of your casters, and my other caster next to me today, via social distancing technology style things, is Jinxeekatt. Hello, and how are you doing?
Hi, I'm really great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited to have the heroic finals. Like you said, these guys are the top tier Division S, HGC, whatever you want to call them. And so I'm really, really excited to be casting these games.
Exactly. This is going to be fun. Like we said, this is the top of levels here. So we have a lobby already up, but while we're talking about that, let's talk about our two teams by immediately jumping over to the bracket to see how they made it over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have on the left-hand side, that score is wrong. That's from the last bracket. My bad. The match is not already over. Let me edit that. Boom. But we have on the left-hand side, it will be Quaranteam, and they have had to fight their way through Regen, one of the big favourites moving in to make their way through, and also the #1 seed, We Take These. Whereas CPogX Fanclub, they had to fight their way through the #7 seed to get here, but they are still the #2 seed. They also beat out Press Forward, the #3 seed, to make their way in. So it's #2 versus #4 seed.
Yeah, it's been a really exciting, interesting series so far. I don't know if any of you guys caught the heroic semifinals. Those were really, really exciting games. And everybody was a little bit upset by Quarantine coming here. And I don't necessarily mean in the fact that it's Quarantine that got here, but like you said, Tetcher, they beat out We Take These, who was #1. And up until that series, they'd only lost one single map, never lost a series. So it was really, really a dynamic fight. And Quarantine have really showed why they deserve to be here.
They really have. They've managed to blast their way through it. A very tough matchup. 3-2 was the final score, which is going to be rough because CPogX, they have looked strong. In the playoffs, they have yet to drop a map. Can Quaranteam be the first to do so? Before we jump in, let's have a quick look at the maps to find out where we will be going to start this off. So map bans, we have Alterac, Braxis, BOE, and Tomb of our first map being Infernal Shrines. Any of those stand out to you?
So of course, you have the standard to just get them off the board. Nobody wants to deal with Braxis. I'm really interested that BOE was taken out of the map pool because a lot of the heroic and above players really like to go there. They love to get in and display their ability to macro and team fight. And I really don't think that a map does it better than Battlefield of Eternity. So interesting to see it taken away.
It is indeed, and as well, another map that's very focused on team fights. We did see Tomb of the Spider Queen taken out, very rotation focused, and very team fight focused, is always entertaining to watch. On the other side, though, the usual suspects, Braxis, Alterac. Sky Temple has snuck its way through, which is a little more unusual, as has Volskaya, but Alterac and Braxis aren't too surprising.
Nobody likes to play at Braxis. And then I feel like Sky Temple, I say this all the time, but I really feel like it's true, is the gentleman's agreement of we won't pick it, you guys won't pick it, and it'll just kind of exist unless we go to a game #5 here this evening.
Or we intend to cheese. In which case,
Yeah, that's fair.
sometimes you just gotta sneak in a Braxis game. A Sky Temple game. Either way, we will see. For now, we are just waiting for the teams to ready up as we already have our lobby. As we already said, we're going to Infernal Shrines first. And as everyone knows, this is the new patch. A lot of things have changed here, including big nerfs to Johanna and ETC. If I remember correctly, I'm going to double check this on my phone because I can't check it elsewhere. I think May's banned? I'm going to double check this because I remember
May is banned for the
something.
rest of the season, if I remember correctly.
I think you are correct, which is
All
a little bit of a
right.
shame because we haven't seen any pro, or at least I haven't seen any pro May games. But I guess that is just for the sake of consistency throughout the season.
Right, I can definitely understand. May's a struggler right now. I mean, she came out and she was really solid in terms of release. I definitely don't think that she's too overtuned or too undertuned. They pushed some of her numbers down a little bit, I like. But you know what I don't like? What Blizzard did to my beautiful tanks. Come on, man. Like, I'm playing Uther and Zool to have a viable front line now.
Why am I being pinged? What's happening with admins? Oh, I think they're just BM. Okay, they're just talking crap. All right, we're good. I was panicking for a second. Okay, we are good.
Right.
Okay,
And
so
with
yeah.
that, we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna go look now. I'm like, are we in trouble? Did we do something wrong?
But not this time. We just got absolutely bamboozled by the players. But we are into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, it is Quaranteam on the left, CPogX Fanclub on the right. And not too surprisingly, considering a lot of the other tanks got nerfed, it's Garrosh as the first ban.
Definitely makes sense. I know you and I were talking about this the other day, Tatch, and you were like, are you ready for the rise of Garrosh? Because with those two humongous nerfs to Johanna and ETC, he is going to be the top tier pick right now. We'll see if we do see some of those other underliers come out who are kind of sleeper OP, maybe like an Imperious frontline. Could come out here. We're going to see the Cassia banned away. Despite her nerf last night, she's actually still incredibly strong, so I can definitely understand why Quaranteam does not want to play against that.
They didn't nerf the most important and overpowered part of her, and that is that her 7 has 0 cooldown. It is just spammable if you take enough damage and live, and that was a huge part of the damage output. The level 1 nerf was still very sensible, though, and will help a lot in terms of laning phase, but that level 7 was absolutely devastating, as we do see Orphea banned out. She has been sleeper OP for a while now, so it's sensible. And ETC banned away. Maiev, who got some changes recently, gonna be picked up here. Now, they do have to be careful because there is a talent banned here. Pursuit of Vengeance is banned.
Really?
It is.
I
I got the bans up on screen.
Okay. I love the Maya pickup. I think she's so strong now. And she's kind of one of those heroes who was like Orphea, where she's really, really OP, but then like everyone got really tired of playing her, it almost feels like. Like I know she got a couple of nerfs. And then everyone was like, you know, nobody really wants to play with or against Maiev, so they went and got rid of her. I do love that fancy new skin that they're rocking.
It looks pretty good. That and the owl mount, two of the newest things that have popped up, which are fantastic. We're going to see Ana and Greymane to start off with. Rhaegar has dropped out of priority because of the nerf to Bloodlust, so we're seeing that Greymane very early. Ana, still one of the top supports, so she was barely touched. On the other side, though, Area Control is the name of the game with Deckard Cain, and Hanzo, squishy hero, but with lots of escape abilities to get away from Greymane.
We know that Gottfeld, plays a pretty mean Hanzo, so they'll have to look out for that. Sonya is going to be banned out here. And Sonya is just a really, really strong offlane. She does very well on those Immortal Shrines as well. So it makes sense they don't want to deal with her, especially since but she's just good right now. She's so strong.
And another hero who's very strong, especially against someone like Hanzo or Deckard Cain, where they're stuck in a certain area for a little bit until they can jump, or in Hanzo's case, the Mephisto gets removed here. He is incredibly solid and can avoid Maiev quite easily.
Yeah,
So
he is really, really strong, and then just being able to pump out that damage consistently. In the chat, we're seeing people talking about targeting Carbon's hero pool, and we do see the tasks that are coming out from Carbon, but if you watch the games last week, there is one hero on everybody's mind when they think of Carbon, at least in my opinion, and that is Li Ming. Can understand why they don't want to pick her up here, because the skeletal defenders can get in the way of those orbs, but it really was a changing point for those semifinals. And we're going to see a Stitches tank come out from... You have to remind me how to say his name. BKB?
That is just BKB. That you do not pronounce his full name. That's just how it works. So interesting here. Stitches and Medivh. which could lead to the infamous kidnap comp if we see a Gorge here. That could be a good way for them to pick off Ana or Tassadar a little easier here. But Stitches, very low on the hard crowd control. He did get a buff to his wave clear, which will help them a lot on this map. That's going to be cool to see. But he is now being played against Malthael, which is a very clutch final pickup for Quaranteam, which will hopefully help them deal with this, because Medivh, he can block a lot, but he can't block that damage over time. He can only really block the last rights, which there's a lot of targets for that last right. Tassadar, Greymane, and now Malthael. It's going to be difficult for them to deal with. It's a solid final pickup from the side of Quaranteam, but that Stitches composition does have potential, and I'm excited to see new Stitches in action.
Definitely. Really quick, I just want to give a shout out to Moist Weenus. Thank you very much for the 3 gifted subs in chat. Very, very appreciated. Looking at this draft, though, like you said, Tetch, the kidnap comp. I mean, we saw Dignitas do it in the last ever BlizzCon finale. So there's definitely some merit to it. That was like 2 years ago, but like I definitely still see the appeal. They'll have to be quick and careful, though, in my opinion, because Diablo Greymane really just hurts when you get dived on and, you know, you're somebody squishy, like, I don't know, a Hanzo or a Deckard Cain.
Couldn't agree more. You gotta play around those squishies. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, as Captain Wedge gifts us up to me, thank you, we're heading into the game. Let's get this underway. On the left-hand side of game number 1 of our best of 5 grand finals, it is Quaranteam. Stay inside with Jakugi? I have no idea. Jakugi going to be playing on the Diablo, unaverted on the Tassadar, Cookie Man on the Malthael, Weary Day on the Ana, and Carbon is on the Greymane. And Jinxie, who's this on the right?
On the right-hand side, rocking those beautiful orange trunks, we have CPogX Fanclub with BKB on that Stitches. Nintori is going to be your Hanzo. TGG Noah will be the Maev. Oh my gosh, so much fight happening right now. Legacy will be your Deckard Cain, and Got Filth is that Medivh. But they actually switched, surprising.
They did switch. They got away with it. I do not know why the frames are dropping. Sorry about this, everybody. But we do have the rotation. No one dying at the start there. Able to play around the initial fight to begin with, as they will back away. It's a nice little aggressive beginning, but Cookie Man able to use that Fear the Reaper to escape death there and get out of danger. Stitches, by the way, going for a risky talent here. Savor the flavor. Maximum regen coming in here, which could help him, but it means he's going to be missing a lot of that speed boost and maximum health output that could be used for the actual grabs. However, more health means he's going to be a little bit more effective against, less effective against Cookie Man, so seeing that picked up makes more sense here, because the regen will counteract Malthael a little bit more.
Or a little bit robotic, my friend. You don't mind if we take for a little bit while we try to figure
Okay,
this out.
Dixie is very roboty on our side, so we'll keep it going for a little bit till that hopefully stabilizes. As we keep it moving, I don't know if you can swap the server and see if that fixes it. 50-50 between who is going to win here, as we do see the redemption coming in from Hanzo, as Malthael sneaks the camp away, going to try and port out. He gets it.
Can you hear me okay? Because it's coming through on your side. I hear you, super robots.
Well, I could see. Well, I can hear you fine now, but stream's fine, everything's fine. I'm not able to tab out.
It's fine.
Yes, I cannot tab out, so we have to go with that. As Nintori's going to be porting back here. Camp was taken again, and right now Quaranteam, they are painting this map blue. That camp steal from Cookie Man is really huge here.
And it is going to really, really pay dividends for the team there, as it's just going to be able to go in, get a ton of damage, as we can see, just harassing the team, harassing the minions. I do have note in chat that it's pronounced Jachuggy, so that's what we can call him. Thank you, CPog. And as the first objective gets here, we are gonna go ahead and see both teams looking to just get ready. We can see Greymane hiding in the bush here. Medivh in bird form, gonna go ahead, scout out everything, see where the rest of the team is. Meanwhile, Deckard is looking to get set up, make sure the team is nice and safe. And waves are just being cleared here from the side of CPogX Fanclub.
Black Harvest coming in from Malthael, really wants to help deal with that Stitches, and of course that extra damage over time is going to be better against the Medivh than certain burst-based talents will be. A little bit of pressure onto Chuggy right now. They tether him in. Not going to be enough for a kill. Root comes out from Deckard. First blood onto Cookie Man. No, he sneaks away. Hanzo comes through the portal. Not able to pick up the kills. It's Stitches, BKB, who is first blood as Noah drops back through the portal, retreats, and does a lot of damage on the way through. Psionic Echo coming in here, as well as the Electric Fence for zoning potential. Little bit of a charge. Good flip onto Got Filth here.
Felt running for their life. However, that protected coming out, keeping him nice and safe. Down came the anti-healing grenade. Maiev gonna be the first to go down in this fight. Hanzo quick to follow. However, CPog was able to go ahead and grab that Punisher. And now they're just gonna go ahead and push. And that is the fan club. Pardon me, CPog is in the chat right now. Gotta get it right.
Did you just change the server?
I changed the server about 30 seconds ago.
Okay, I was wondering why your audio went out there for a moment. That should be good. Hopefully that will fix it, as we do see the pressure coming in right now. The Punisher gonna be focused down, no pushing with it because, well, everyone died. The fan club did put up a solid defense, but they were zoned away here and taken out, as Medivh will see this camp being taken.
One of the worst Punishers. It's really unfortunate. They just went ahead and grabbed the wall there, but everybody is back up, going ahead, grabbing their camps. First Punisher, never really that strong, so at least they can maybe chase a little bit more with that wall. Look for some spicy Stitches hooks without having to worry about getting hooks here. And now mid is the name of the game. Everything is being dropped. Quick rotation from the Medivh there. Malthael, not long for this world, does go down. And now Diablo has come to play. He tries to Shadow Charge out, taking a lot of healing there from that Deckard Cain Emerald. But he does get out safely.
Fantastic sleep dart from Weary Day there to save his Diablo here, keeping the game. And in fact, just going to top him up and let him stay. He has Devil's Due, so he's going to be able to heal back up very quickly. As Got Filth starts on the Mercenary camp. He's going to start dealing with that. Other talents worth noting here, we do have full auto attack, but almost full auto attack build with Redemption and Sharpened Arrowheads for the Hanzo. Stitches has moved into the Cannibalize, very standard self-sustained talent. Diablo with Diabolical Momentum plus Sacrificial Soul is big burst style. And yeah, this interesting Tassadar build with Psionic Echo and Electric Fence. Still Archon though, we're not seeing any combo with the Psionic Echo and the Black Hole, for example. They're sticking normal, but they're putting a bit more effort into the Psy Storm as opposed to the Shock Ray.
And one thing that was pointed out that I just want to take a look at is we actually didn't have the Ruby picked up here at level 4. We got Potion of Shielding instead. So that grants 181 point shield for 6 seconds anytime somebody picks up a potion. Now, why do we think that might be? Just because there isn't a whole lot of really dive from the fan club here. What do you think, Tetch?
It's because they're not, at least I suspect it's because they're up against a lot of damage over time. Dragon Arrow, talk about it in a second, as Cookie Man tethered in. Easy route, and that's going to be a kill. 3 kills to 2 now, as we do see CPog Fan Club catching up a bit. But yeah, it's because they're up against a lot of damage over time and a lot of anti-heal. Anti-heal is going to mean that Ruby could be completely nullified by Ana, whereas the shield is always value and Tassadar is always dead, pulled behind the wall, because it is Gorge, as they get the pick there.
Yeah, but if Tassadar's always dead, then so is Malthael, who is just being absolutely bullied at every opportunity that the fan club sees. They're always roaming. And that Maiev Deckard just feels awful. I mean, it's one of those things where you see it coming, and then you just kind of like hands off keyboard, like, all right, guys, I'm going to go get a drink. Good luck.
I'm back in like 15 seconds, guys. Don't lose while I'm gone. As we just saw that focus down. Feels bad, man, but they are holding for now, as we do see top lane now being the lane of focus. Unaverted. Looks for Noah. Not able to get the damage. Doesn't even land the shock ray. Up to 60 on the stacks and 74 on Black Harvest. Only 8 for poor BKB on Save with the Flavor, but every little bit's a little bit of extra regen, which will help against Malthael.
I mean, if you're never in the fight dying, you don't really need that extra bonus. Here comes the APOC dropping down. Dragon Arrow already used. Stay a while and listening coming out. It connects onto 2. We actually have that not Last Rites coming out from Cookie Man there. Both teams just pressing their R. Everybody lives. Go for this throat, still available for Greymane, as is Gorge. Both teams just looking to hold that one big heroic, see if they can't shift the flow of this fight here now, as CPogX Fanclub looks to invade back onto the point.
The Fanclub had so many nope buttons that they used during that fight, but in this case they are going to get zoned away. Focus comes in onto Nintori over the wall. He will get out of here as Cookie Man drop low. Noah has to volley the waters. Good block with the force of will from Noah. Noah is going to be able to get out there. Carbon, he was pulled into BKB, but now BKB is in between a rock and a wolf place. Focus down, but another force of will coming out, and to heal is too much though. He is taken down. And this is looking a little rough for CPogX Fanclub, as they're able to sustain fights, but they don't appear to yet at least have the damage to finish the job on any kills.
Fighting around these shrines can be very difficult for them, just based on the fact that this comp really excels at finding one person, isolating them, and then assassinating them quickly. However, when the whole team is there, the Ana is there, not only do you have those anti-heal grenades to stop people like Stitches from regenerating, but also they keep the heal target nice and healthy. They're a one-man assassination comp, so going in and trying to, you know, kill one guy when they're surrounded by 4 of their buddies is really difficult.
This is where they could try something though. Gorge is just back off cooldown, and BKB now has Fishing Hook. It was nerfed, but the hook itself was buffed, so it's a net neutral there. So BKB could try and make something happen. They still have what's left of a wall here, so they could try and make something happen. And much more of a wall down in bot lane, though. And the fact is, they can do this. You saw the attempt there from way out in lane due to the fact that Medivh is here with this composition. As Noah starts dealing with bot lane, Hanzo, he's cleaned out top lane, but there's still another wave of a catapult already pushing in.
Only lost the 1 fort, so definitely not the end of the world there. Lost some towers as well. Again, no problem. Stitches already dropping or getting dropped by that force wall. So now is their opportunity to look for something. The team is retreating back into the safety of their base. Close on a Greymane. Does not connect though.
Very close indeed. Gets away. Stays safe. We're seeing stacks almost complete here. This catapult will be cleaned up, but it's going to take a little bit up in top lane, and just in time for a mercenary to be picked up by CPogX. And this time it will not be stolen away. No earth. Nice little dodge there as the Fanclub. They're on the back foot, but they're not at a point where they are out of the game. There's a lot of potential for them to make comebacks here, and they're managing this very well as Dragon Arrow comes out. Hook does not land, though. They don't find the pick.
Dancing shoes of Quaranteam so strong right now, just avoiding it by a smidgen. Like their cheeks must be bruised. They're clenching so tight here, trying to avoid. They're all gonna go ahead and clean up. They didn't grab that camp after all. I don't know if they left it to just, okay, they decided not to grab the camp. I can see it now. Looking to do so as we speak. Hopefully get it pushing while that middle lane objective is active. Maybe get some damage in that top fort there.
Yeah, they let the camp leash to try and make a play with Dragon Arrow. Not able to they landed the Dragon Arrow, not able to land the follow-up this time, and that's a lot of their comp here. They have just infinite setup abilities, with the kill potential being Hanzo, which, with his auto-attack build, is decent, but they really need to start focusing the right target, and they need a little bit of extra damage. Now, of course, Medivh, up to 25 stacks. Once he's done, that will help a lot if he can get that extra 75 damage. That will help very much if he's able to do so. And now Hanzo has his level 16 Flawless Technique, which will help a lot as well. That 40% extra damage there.
I didn't realize he hadn't finished his Master's Touch yet, and that's really, really kind of a shame for him. The hook comes out once again, does not connect. Team's just looking to clear the waves best they can. I do believe that CPog can turn this around, though. Excuse me, the Fanclub. They have a lot of really strong tools at their belt, like you said, and they're just waiting for that one hook. As the game gets later on, it's actually better for them in their pickoff comp because, you know, as the timers hit roughly a minute, that can be really bad. Spending a whole minute where you're 4v5 or, you know, 3v4, however the game may take.
This is what
the longer this goes on, I think I think the Fanclub will have this.
If they can land the hooks, I think there's a good chance of that. However, Malthael now is almost full burst. Nice use of the Shadow Walk there to escape by unaverted. Hook, again, not finding the target. They do, however, have all their heroics. They can try and make a play with that. 16 to 10 on the point as they move forward. Diablo's looking for the play. Here's the Vault to the Ward. Stay a while and listen. Separates two members out as in the back line. Cookie Man is going to try and be focused out. They use the Dragon Arrow onto him to pick him off as we see Deckard Cain taken out. So everyone else just commits to getting rid of Malthael, and they get him. They get one kill for one here. He gets out. That's going to be the escape by Noah, very barely as Tassar looks for it. But now Black Harvest is complete. Memento Mori is available. Malthael's damage is huge now, which is why they're very lucky they got the kill. Carbon with the pickup.
Might have escaped there with 100 health. They came back in to see if maybe they could make something happy, and I think happened, and then just tested their luck a little bit too much. Here comes this Punisher now. This fort is pretty much dead in the water. The team's jumping on it. You've got Greymane. Stitch's Medivh, though, still available, and behind this keep could still make something happen.
As long as there's a wall, there's a way with their Stitches. If he can catch someone. He doesn't have Gorge yet, though, but they have only 10 seconds to live. If Stitches can pull over this wall, unaverted, you're a bit vulnerable. He moves behind the minions. He's staying safe for the moment, but Weary Day, he finds unaverted. That is a huge kill. That side wall, they have to take it down. Stay a while, though. Tether and unaverted is gone.
That's a really big chunk of their siege damage and wave clear there, Tetcher. I mean, here comes the Dragon Arrow, does connect onto Diablo. Out comes the portal, trying to get everybody in a little bit quicker. Chuggy running as fast as they can, trying to escape with that Shadow Charge. He gets pulled back into the root. Malthael dropping their ultimate there, gets golfed by BKB. Out comes Vault of the Warden. Stitch is going to retreat safely through. Cookie Man flexing into the Vault of the Warden, or the Warden's cage, excuse me. Gets pushed around a little bit there. Noah's so very low. I stay, you go. Can Deckard keep him alive?
Ooh.
No, but Malthael can. Oh, they can't. He just goes down.
Carbon in the back line looking for legacy here. There's the potion of shielding, keeps him alive. And what we saw there was BKB trying to separate Malthael away from his team so that the nano boost would expire. But Malthael just went in anyway. He didn't care as we see BKB looking for one more chance. He gets Carbon. It's only Legacy and Godfelth. They focus him down. Legacy's in danger. Potion of shielding. Carbon is out. Force of Will. They pick up Malthael. That is an insanely important kill right now as they look for more. Master's Touch is done. The sleep misses. Weary Day is done. So did I say just leave him? They just left.
Hello?
He's leaving.
Hello, team? They can't decide who to kill. He's
Weary Day.
as fast as he can. Diablo does lose the soul. Does go down. Is he? Like, Casual God finally dies.
He slept and he was trying to escape, but Gottfried finally turned his attention to the fight. They pick up the kill. And we make it through as we see top lane being cleaned out. Movement D finally stacked at level 20. Finally available because you said it, as long as the later the game goes, the better Stitches gets. And in this case, they get it. That's a hungry, hungry Stitches coming in here. And perfect gems coming in for Deckard.
Stitches coming to drop the hook, does not connect, but with 26 seconds still on Ana. NA arrow comes out, does connect onto Diablo, so maybe not necessarily an NA arrow. They don't get a whole lot off of it, though. Still 17 seconds on. They're going to go ahead and try and push this middle fort down here.
That feels bad. 12 seconds. The BKB can't do anything now. He's lost the hook, so he's all basically just auto-attacks the big slam. And you can immediately see Chuggy, he steps up. And that is the power of Stitches and why you shouldn't throw random hooks out. Obviously, if you're behind, you need those hooks. But if you throw out a hook within range of your opponents where they can see it, they know they have a lot of freedom for 12 seconds. And that is always rough to deal with as BKB. He finds Chuggy. Can they finish him off? Focus is good. Armor reduction from the extra damage from Hanzo as Cookie Man in the backline is trying to 1v4.
BKB also struggling to 1v4 in the back. He is going to go down here. Out comes to stay a while and listen. Vault of the Warden's being popped. Gottfeldt running for their life. Stitches and Maiev do both go down. Legacy is going to be the next to follow. And Nintori, can he escape it? Cookie Man trying to get the trait onto him. Is not able to teleport behind. And Hanzo flees with his life. for now. Cannot say the same about this keep here as the team steps up. However, they'll have to be careful. This is a soulless Diablo, and Cookie Man is tanking. Like, this hurts.
Ooh. He uses Hellgate. That's a big engage. Got Phil focused down. Portals his way back to base. As long as Nintori can live here. Run into the root. Jatsugi going to be taken out here. And this defense might now be possible. Dragon are a point-blank range. Hanzo playing the game into the backflip over the wall to escape here. All they have to do is hold the core, but with Cookie Man low, this is holdable. Nintori is so low, though. One stray shot from Unaverted will stop this game from ending here. But here comes Medivh. He's tried to delay. He's tried it. He gets it with the Arcane Explosion. Got Phil through the portal. He will go down. It's up to Nintori. 46% on the core. Maiev is about to come back. Nintori, he gets the kill. They're trying to hold it. It's 26% left. It's up to Unaverted. Malthael has returned. Unaverted, he's pulled in. Hungry Stitches for the save. And CPogX Fanclub stay alive.
That definitely went better than I thought it was going to. Sorry, let me pick my jaw up off the floor. Everybody running in with sub 50% health felt somewhat disrespectful to me, and it ends up in a 5-team wipe, which, you know, you hate to see, but they also have 13% on the core, which is just devastating. At any point with a Greymane on their team, Greymane Tassadar nonetheless, Quaranteam can come back and end at any time. It's really a really big uphill battle for CPogX Fan Club right now, is they're going to have to make sure that every single lane is pushed 100% of the time. Where's the team? Are they going to sneak? And look, here comes Diablo. No, he's going to do the camp. He's actually not going to sneak the core.
Yeah, Diablo and Malthael are good at a lot of things, but it is not core killing, so they are going to begin clearing a camp. Are you
implying that's not the best Siege team we have in this game?
I think we could have waited for Greymane, and that's exactly what they do here. Has got Filth. Gonna be cleaning this up. They're gonna clean up the Fallen Shaman camp at the top lane, so we're gonna lose that keep loss potential, which is one more direction Quaranteam could engage from. And like you said, though, Greymane Tassadar just alone could maybe burst through the shield and win the game. And while they, and yeah, this objective isn't gonna be finished in time. CPog, they have to back away. And they're going to do so. They mount up. They have full vision of everyone now, so they know they're not going to die, which does allow Maiev to leave this and join up with the rest of the team. This is still risky, though. This keep is going to die. Hound gets it.
And nothing they could have done about that. The team has stepped back in, trying to get their last 4 skeletal defenders here. It looks like they will. We can see Quaranteam is just going to go ahead and back up here as they are 24 to 39. Hanzo and Maiev just stuck at home. Like they're up against Quaranteam, but they're the one just, you know, sitting in base, doing nothing. Yeah. Social distancing from the enemy team.
Nintori nearly dies to minions, but he cleaned out the lane, and that's the important bit. Rest of his team comes back, and this is their game now. CPogX, their entire strategy now is, what is BKB doing? He is dying. He's dead. He's not getting out of here. He's gonna hungry Stitches. Dragon Arrow. Oh, okay. Portal. Here it comes from downtown. Hits Tassadar, and they decide against it. They realize it's a bad idea. They're now down Stitches. Noah, he's looking for it. They're going so deep. They're trying to make something happen. 3v5. Stay a while and listen. Cookie Man is the target. Noah, they get Li Ming, which is huge here. Unaverted, focus down. Noah, vaulted the waters. He gets him, but loses his life for it. And now with 2 members dead, they might have saved themselves the game again. With Stitches dead, that might have been a core rush, but they've protected themselves again with pure, unadulterated chutzpah and aggression.
Have to be careful, though. Greymane is available. He does a lot of siege damage. And we have 3 catapults on the core right now. The team is, as we can see, hearthing to try and deal with that. But really bold play. And that's what CPog has to do right now. They have to make big, giant plays. Else, it's just, how do you want to lose? You want to lose to Kattas? You want to lose to a backdoor? Or, you know, a team fight here. So they were able to hold very well. Can they make something happen?
I've never seen a play quite like what CPog just did there. Hungry Stitches into an attempt of a play of the game Hanzo and Portal Medivh Maiev Deckard to try and just start a fight from across the map. That is one of the craziest moves I've ever seen. And that's the kind of play that's going to keep them in this game, but it's so risky. Right now, they're stuck farming, they're clearing out waves. Medivh and Greymane having a dance party, and Greymane is, well, who Medivh has to keep an eye on. Carbon is the target here.
They're looking, see if they can't get anything. This bottom half of the map, we can see as Quaranteam is just lurking, waiting for any opportunity to capitalize on this baby core health. You can see the team is just spending most of their time hearthing. Noah clearing out those catapults. BKB dealing with the camp. They're trying to proxy the waves a little bit to make sure that they have the opportunity to fight over this next objective, because they can't lose another one for the rest of the game.
No!
If oh no! Vault of the Wardens comes out. Out comes the Hellgate and the Apocalypse. That's going to be Noah dead. Warden's Cage comes out. Everyone gets a fun bounce. Diablo gets stunned. No teleport in from Hanzo, and that's just really unfortunate for the fan club there. They're going to try and head and clear best they can, but now down Maiev, down Warden's Cage, two really big factors in preventing the enemy team from jumping in and destroying the core are gone. A 4v5 under the core, that could be the end of the game.
BKB, though, he stands under fort, the last bastion of tier 1s. In fact, the last bastion of defense before the core outside of this keep here. And that is the one opportunity they have to really make something happen here. Dragon Arrow is going to be up in 25 seconds with Maiev up in 20. That's when they can make the play here. But you're going to see here, Quaranteam, they know that if they get this Punisher, that makes this defense a lot harder, because the clear of CPogX Fanclub ain't great. So they have to play back. They have to play safe here. As BKB, he's desperately looking for a pick. A pick keeps them in this game. Otherwise, they have to take a down fight. But Maiev's on the way. They can take this before the objective is finished. It's going to be difficult. It might come down to this one fight.
One thing I wanted to notice, when your lanes are so far pushed in, there's not a whole lot the enemy team can do, so that bought them time for Noah to get back here. They're going to go ahead, harass around. However, Quaranteam are already at 20, excuse me, skeletal defenders right now. Vault of the Wardens coming out.
They're going in onto Decade. Here's the focus. Carbon picks him off before he can do anything. There's the portal to leave, though. Warden's Cage onto just Weary Day to focus him down. Goliath with the Hellgate. Nintori is being focused down here. Noah is gonzo, but so is Diablo, but he's got all the souls.
And I really don't see a world in which CPog wins here. They're doing their best, trying to come in, trying to take this 3v4 right now, soon to be a 3v5 as Diablo will return. But with that Punisher collected by Quaranteam, this looks like it might be the final march of the game, unless Filth and BKB are about to play out of their minds.
Filth tries to delay. There's the B step. He's going to be focused down. He will perish. BKB will perish. 2 catapults, 3 catapults in bot lane. And despite a very valiant defense, it is going to be game number 1, going over to Quaranteam. But that was just the first game of the series. We've still got at least 2 more of these, at most 4 more.
Really, really well done by both teams. I understand the comp that the fan club was going for. I thought it was really strong. And on early game, I was like, wow, this is insane. This must be so frustrating for Quaranteam. I have no idea how they're going to play around this. But they know a little bit more about the game than me, and they definitely were able to dance around using that Greymane effectively. The Malthael taking that, Tormented Souls there at level 10 really was a game changer for them.
Sorry for calling out Goliath there. I really don't know where that came from, other than I like Goliath. But yeah, like you said, using that Tormented Souls level just meant that Malthael was able to keep 4 members busy, because there was a lot, as we said before, there's a lot that CPogX Fan Club were very good at, but they didn't really have enough ability to burst down a single member without the help of structures a lot of the time. And with Malthael having so much self-sustain, it was really hard to kill him, so he was just able to distract people all the time. Either way, though, that composition and the attempts of the plays from CPogX Fan Club were really solid. But just a solid final pick and a solid counter coming in from Quaranteam that allowed them to control the game from beginning till almost end, and then to end.
They did their best, like you said. I mean, the games were so close, 20-16 in the kills. So despite not having that huge burst that Quaranteam did, the fan club still did a really good job at getting the kills that they were able to grab. I mean, so close, 30-minute game. And then just taking a peek at some of these talents here, see if there's anything that jumps out. Just the burst, I think, was a little more than poor old Deckard could handle. With the go for the throat, the Tassadar just in general, like everything he does is burst. And then the hard aggression onto the squishy backline from Diablo was just a little bit too much. But that's only game number one. Like you said, we'll see if the fan club can go ahead and pull it back as we move forward.
Like you say, the no button from Deckard is good, but his burst output just wasn't enough for burst healing. Greymane was so strong there. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are going to have our second map prepared very soon. You are Giant. Hello.
Oh,
Looking at the
forward.
screen. It's all good. It just shows there's a Steven Universe joke in here somewhere, and I can't make it because I can't think
I
of
am
it.
a giant woman. I mean, any of y'all have ever met me at BlizzCon or anything, I'm 6'2",
She's
so
real
you
tall.
know. Big old girl.
Alrighty, so next BlizzCon that we're all able to go to, Jinxie cosplay as J-How confirmed.
Oh my! I will tell you, like, so obviously, like, I'm a humongous woman. Like, just throwing that out there. Like, make all the jokes that you want. Like, I've heard them all before. There's nothing new. Standing next to J-How made me so uncomfortable. Like, I'm not
Same.
used to being like dwarf. I'm just staring there, like looking up at his chin. I'm like, is this how you people feel all the time? Like, just a whole foot and a half of person over you? Like he could step on me and not even notice.
Yeah, I'm used to being the tallest person in the room most of the time, but when you're with J-How, almost, I've said this before on the stream, but at DreamHack, everyone's on a box. Everyone's on a box at DreamHack, and J-How still has to stand with his legs apart in order for his crotch not to be at desk level. That's just how tall that man is. He was a delight. He is absolutely great. But for now, we already have our second map, everybody. We're going to be heading to Towers of Doom as our second map. And this was chosen by Quaranteam. A CPogX fan club have opted for first pick and first ban.
I'm excited to see a little bit of different play here. I mean, we still could see the spicy stitches. It could come out, you know.
There's a good map for
it. Yeah, I mean, other things that we could see. The first thing that pops in my mind, I'm like, well, we could see a no, not Johanna, because she was nerfed into submission. Feels terrible. We didn't even see her like considered in the last game. But anybody who excels at taking a long team fight, so maybe Mal'Ganis coming out here. We could see if the Garrosh is let through this time. New Blaze would be phenomenal. And then, of course, the underlier that, for some reason, at every finals, like, everybody forgets about until, like, the last couple of games. Tyrael, who comes out with the Sanctification, just super OP.
Yeah, always the way. He's ignored right until the very last moment, and then suddenly there's Tyrael, and suddenly he's banned. That's always how it goes. He is just that good out of nowhere. Well, we're going to be getting ready to jump into our game very shortly, everyone. But as a reminder, seeing as I have you all here while we're waiting for the right hats to be applied, and for starters, if you're enjoying the stream, then make sure you support NGS by using those subs, those donations. But also, NGS announced over a month ago at this point, Storm League, which is their attempt to bring a prize-pooled professional Heroes of the Storm format back to America. And they have a matcherino to try and raise the prize money for it, that you guys can contribute to. And I'm sure there's a command in chat, and if not, check out the Nexus Gaming Series Twitter so that you can see the results, that you can find the link there, and contribute to what could be the next echelon of American professional Heroes of the Storm.
I'm super excited. I've already, you know, like everyone I know, I'm sure you guys all saw my disaster of a tweet a couple of weeks back, right? I posted all the wrong links and everything, but please go support them. Without further ado, teams look like they're ready to go. Hats have been applied, and we're going to be hopping into game number 2 in our best of 5 series.
We are into Towers of Doom. Again, CPog get the first pick. CPogX fan club. Let's see what we go for here. So, globals are decent on this map. It's not a huge map, but the ability to be in multiple places very quickly is very important. Abathur is another hero who jumps very high up in priority here. I do not know if either of these teams play him as much. Vikings can also sneak in, but a little less priority. And of course, we already mentioned Stitches. We have heroes that can take a longer fights, as you mentioned, Blaze, Malthael. There's a lot of... Sorry, Mal'Ganis. There's a lot of good options. Although Malthael, he is good at longer fights too.
We are going to see that Diablo banned away first here instead of the garage. It was just a little bit too much for the fan club here, it looks like. Now, do we see any of the heroes from last game coming back? Because despite the fact that the fan club lost, that was so frustrating to play against. I can only imagine. Like, watching them play, I'm like, oh, that's so disgusting. Over the wall. We have a humongous wombo combo. Just kidding. We've been eaten.
The potential's still there. And the fact is, this is such a niche pick that I doubt Quaranteam will ban any of the tools for it. Leoric is a solid ban hero here. He's another percentage damage hero, which could lead to perhaps... For starters, he's dominant on this map. Solo laners are really good. But it makes Stitches a little bit less likely. It makes Deathwing a little less likely. There's the Vikings ban. That is ridiculously sensible between Vikings and Abathur. Abathur is solid on this map, but the Vikings are a wild card. They still have enough damage output to be a little bit harder to deal with.
We saw a game a couple of weeks back, I think, where poor Urao was just destroyed by the Vikings, and it felt so dirty. We are going to see the ETC come out first for BKB, seeing what they can do despite the nerfs to his face melt there. It's only a 2-second increase on the talent, so, or the ability. There we go. Got there in the end. Li Ming Ana coming out this time. And like I said, Carbon's Ana. Carbon's Li Ming. I can't talk. I'm sorry. My dog is in here and she wants to like bark. And I'm trying not to let her. But Carbon's Li Ming is no joke. That's the point that I want to get across.
And this is a good map for it compared to Infernal Shrines. Infernal Shrines has a lot of things in the way. And in this case, much less things to block your damage output. But now we have heroes who can either just tank that stuff or go around it. Tracer, very solid against Li Ming. Outside of Calamity, it's very hard to block her down. So it's a very solid pickup here and also good against Ana. Very sensible ban in the Abathur here because Abathur Tracer into Ana Li Ming would be deadly. And there's an even more sensible ban at Zeratul, one of the few heroes who can follow Tracer far enough to kill her.
Now, are we going to see the Malfurion come out? We don't see a whole lot of Malfurion anymore, and I know like a lot of support players have been scarred from just 2 years of Malfurion domination. But with Tracer is incredibly sensible. We're going to see Garrosh and Raynor picked up, and this is a lot of really solid long-range poke coming out from Quaranteam.
Very sensible, and Garrosh was banned out last time. We're going to see him jump in, and Garrosh into ETC is a very favorable matchup for Garrosh, sorry. Garrosh is real rough heroes to deal with, considered Johanna, but she got nerfed. Diablo to a much lesser degree, and Muradin to a much lesser degree. The best one 100% is Johanna. Another hero who got buffed, though, Karazim coming in here for CPogX Fanclub, and percentage damage plus Garrosh equals potentially a dead orc. But what this also gives is punching potential, which is more burst for Li Ming and Ana. They're squishy heroes, and that extra bit of burst to follow up on Tracer could actually be really huge.
The difference between the composition of CPogX Fan Club is just night and day from game number 1. This team comp to me says, we kill you. Like, I believe that if Karazim were to go 7-sided strike at level 10, that is percentage damage, so Garrosh's armor doesn't mean anything. And come level 10, if Garrosh throws ETC into the backline, I mean, that's a free mosh pit.
It is a free mosh pit, however, there are quite a few interrupts, sleep, wave of force, and that is always, it is always that trade-off with ETC where, yes, if I throw him, he might die, because we have enough burst to follow up, and that is the play of Garrosh, but if we don't kill him, he hits R. So you gotta play very safely around ETC if he is the one who ends up being thrown. You may bring up an excellent point there, Jinxie, but out of the two compositions, which ones do you prefer here?
I love the spice of CPogX fan club. I really think that this is going to do good. Now that I've said that, they're probably going to fall flat on their face because I am wrong 99.9% of the time. But just the Charism, the Urel, the ETC, it just screams, like I said, we kill you and you die.
Well, we're going to be finding out. As Jinxeekatt, would you like to introduce the team on the left-hand side?
I would love to. We have Quaranteam here with Unaverted on that Rainer. Cookie Man will be your Zool. Carbon with that beautiful new Seeker mount on the lead Mig. Weary Day is once again your Ana. And Jachuggy will be your Garage.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is going to be CPogX Fan Club, with Noah going to be playing the Tracer. We have Nintori on the Rel. Legacy is on the Charism. God Filth is going to be playing that Hanzo, and BKB is on the ETC. Very solid pickup here. ETC, of course, did receive a 2-second nerf to his face melts, which is a pretty big deal. It gives him a lot less escapability and a lot less peeling potential, which is what he was really, really good at. As we're going to see Chachuggy finds him, though. Immediate sleep dart follow-up, the perfect timing. Hooks him in, but power slide available. BKB, he's able to get out.
Going to be able to slide away easily enough. Legacy getting picked by the Garage. He doesn't get his third dash until level 7, I believe, or is it 4?
It is 7.
Tracer.
Huh?
Just getting dominated. Here in the middle. Tries to rotate up onto Zool. Dies. You hate to see it.
You can see Legacy. He's not playing as a support right now. He's a backline assassin. The second Garrosh steps up, we see Legacy go into the backline and start punching Weary Day or Carbon. And that is basically how he's going to be playing all game here. We do see those Iron Fists. This is like the one way you can play Charism. Another thing that me and you were talking about literally yesterday. As Unaverted right now, moving back down, you can see he is going to be the tool to deal with this Tracer, because point and click is very good against Tracer, and Rainer is about as point and click as you can get.
And we're going to jump up and grab those pumpkins here. Looks like Quarantine will get the clear fairly quickly. Charism doing his best, finally grabs it. And like we were talking about with the Charism, we have Iron Fist at level 1. That does not scream a healer to me. That, again, like, they just want to fight. And the long, drawn-out fight is going to go in the favor of CPog, in my opinion. So as the game gets longer and longer, once again, Legacy just diving into the back. It's going to be such a struggle for these immobile backline heroes.
This is the way you got to play this, Charazim. Oh, hang on, BKB in a little bit of trouble. Charazim, if you heal your team, yeah, cool, that's great. But your primary objective is to follow up on burst or to reduce damage. Instead of healing it, reduce the damage your team is taking by punching the highest damage dealers. In this case, that is Li Ming, or killing that support so that your team gets the extra sustain. He will, however, pick up Earth Ally here, which is going to be a huge damage mitigation tool for the rest of his team against that Rainer.
Should keep Tracer a little bit more safe here, and not having a healer isn't the worst. I mean, you drop the that Earth Ally, which, like you said, will protect the team from Rainer. Cookie Man gets caught out here. Rainer comes to try and help. However, he just gets a face full of Urel, who does pick up the Zool kill as well. So that'll feel pretty nice as these altars activate in 7 seconds. Zool will be a little bit trailing behind.
Looks like bot lane is going to be controlled right now, at least, by Quaranteam, as CPogX are zoned out. Looks like they might just try and contest top lane. That's exactly what they do, but good turnaround from Unaverted to zone out BKB. Here comes the rest of the team, and this is just going to end up, unless they somehow take a full team fight without Hanzo, this is going to end up being a 2-for-1, and that's exactly what happens. Shots come out, lead is taken by Quaranteam, but Quaranteam aren't looking for that. They're looking for picks here, as we do see the retreat. And Charazim, he can heal. He is a healer, and he did get a buff, so he is going to heal up the Urel here. But we know what his job is in this game.
The positioning of CPogX Fan Club right there tells me that this was their plan all along. They know that the early power of Garrosh is very dominant. Heck, there was a whole patch about it last night saying that Garrosh late game feels unimpactful, so we buffed some of his talents. They're just going to go ahead and wait, and I mean, you lose 2 now, but in the grand scheme of things, this is the most comebacky map of all time. As long as you've got 1 core health point, you're still in the game. ETC coming in, just destroying Carbon, a nice into the fray. We'll get them away. Legacy gets thrown as well. But once again, Karazim Radiant dashes back to the team safely.
And he now has that level 7 you were talking about earlier. He has blinding speed. There's a big engage coming in though. BKB, he face melts, but he tries to power slide through the root. Here comes Karazim. Should have just let him die, dude. That was a mistake. As the legacy goes down as well. Buy one, get one free. As he tries to move into hell, but you don't have cleanse, dude, until level 16. You can't afford to take an engage like that.
That was on it, just a little bit too powerful. However, here comes an irritant to Garage in the Tracer. Noah just able to poke him as much as she can. God, filth! Just popped like a balloon, though. Got slept in front of his own gate, and that just really sucks. It's one of those things that makes you go, oh, man.
Yeah, it feels bad getting caught like that, and that is the joy of Ana as a support. She's so good. But she's one of those heroes we can throw out that sleep dart without really caring and still get value from it. And that makes her so valuable compared to some of the other supports in this game, that she can be such an incredible engage tool. As we will see the trade 1-for-1 this time, but CPogX Fanclub going to try and make some value elsewhere on the map by focusing down some mercenaries. However, Tracer ain't very fast about this. ETC is going to try and cause a distraction to buy time, but I don't think he's going to do this in time. They're going to try and zone with Legacy. They're gonna steal the camp. Good job.
Should be able to get a little bit of extra pressure in this bottom. Like you said, camp is able to go in, no problem at all. Well, two of them get in. One of them does get gunned down there by Raynor. And once again, they're just waiting for their champs, like we were seeing in chat a little bit ago. If any of you are all watching, reading, Tracer is a menace once she comes online at level 13. ETC only gets stronger as he progresses. Getting those face melt talents, which is still the meta build right now, will just become incredibly irritating. I think 13 is the play for CPog.
Palm and stage dive. That is a very burst-heavy style here. They know they're against wave of force. Don't even care. Here comes the taunt, though, onto Karazim. He dashes away. He can't palm himself yet because of the anti-heal grenade. It will put him on 0 hit points. He will still... 1 hit point, sorry. He will die if that happens. He waits it out. Here comes stage dive. Dragon arrow onto the backline as Noah picks up Li Ming. They look for Weary Day. Not able to pick up the kill, but the turnaround is gorgeous. That's the double kill coming in for CPog, and they are online. Baby, here's the burst, here's the kills. There's one more. No, Cookie Man gets away.
Ralph tried to chase after him, but those forts are still pretty scary, not able to connect. They're going to go ahead and just try and push down this fort here now, and with Raynor still dead for another 3 seconds, Zool in the mid lane, looks like they're just going to go ahead and grab it.
Now this is the power of CPog's composition, and finally they're going to be able to bring themselves back to even shots. In fact, they're actually going to get ahead thanks to grabbing that bottom bell tower. They will take those extra shots. BKB is going to pull back. He's low on mana. But here is where their composition really comes into play. Hard engage and burst. And let's look at the disengage potential from the side of Quaranteam. They have throw, and they have sleep, and they have wave, and that's about it. And all of those are mostly going to hit 1 or 2 people at once, which means they don't really have a way to stop the relentless onslaught of CPogX Fanclub. So all they can really do is stay and fight as Dragon Arrow and burst damage shuts down Li Ming again. Unaverted survives as a miracle, but that's just going to keep happening.
I'd like to point out a really solid play by T'Chuggy. As soon as ETC came in, he was able to drop that taunt in an instant, and that allowed Li Ming to get out safely. They are going to have these sappers go in, but there still is hope for Quaranteam here in this game. I mean, Garage, he's going to have to play a little bit back instead of making do with that pick comp that we usually see. Just stay back. Let them come to you. Lord knows they're gonna taunt them. Kill them. If Li Ming stays back even further, then you could probably just blow up somebody like Karazim or Hanzo as they jump into the back line there. So not the end of the world for Quaranteam. It's going to be a hard fight, but I still think that this could go either way.
Cookie Man
as I
getting...
say, that duel dies.
I mean, he's not dead yet, but it's
He's
very
running for
unlikely.
His life, gets Goomba stomped by the Ural.
He'd use the shield, but with ETC not available and still 10 seconds until stage dive, they're not able to get the rest of those sappers in, so they will hold for now on a more defense position. As level 13 is hit, Zool yet to pick his yet, but we know what it should be. It should be another Grimscythe talent. They just have to wait it out. Yep, there it is, that rapid harvest. And this bell tower will go down. The question is, will it go down before the shots come in? Stage Dive's going to buy them time, and that's going to guarantee the shots. Dragon Arrow comes in. First set of shots comes in. Hanzo rechannels. They protect the bell tower. No, the bell tower does go down, so they lose a shot. But they picked up the kit. They don't pick up the kill. They got an extra shot. They got what they needed.
This went swimmingly for Quarantine there, and just what I was talking about. They have the number of CPog now, and it's throw the squishing member who's being engaged on whoever gets hit by the dragon arrow, and then just taunt the rest of the team. And they're sitting there hitting Garrosh, who has, 45 armor, and they're kind of like, wow, I wish this wasn't happening.
This is rough to deal with, but like you said, they're starting to figure it out. Noah going to be focused down. Here comes Jinxeekatt. Doesn't land it, though. That tower died before the orb even hit it. That's how low it was.
Both teams right now just looking to find their camps, maybe try to find a little bit more time, or a better opportunity is probably a better way to put it, to engage onto this map here. Tracer doing the best poke that she can be. And ETC picking up, goes for the face melt slows, not the cooldown that we were expecting to see here. Interesting plays. They really want to make sure that team is locked down nice and tight so they can blow up with the Karazim and the Urel there.
Yeah, they're committing away, like you say, from the cooldown reduction, which is solid here. But again, their build is very burst heavy, as is, with Loudspeaker Pinball Wizard combo. So I guess they don't really need that if their fights aren't going to be taken very often. Their whole idea is basically fight, retreat, fight, retreat. And that is their entire style here. So I guess the slow actually does make sense here. It's cool to see.
I like when the pros make changes in their build. Then I can take notes and I'm like, okay, I should try this. In this circumstances, unaverted, you drop that penetrating round, making sure Noah doesn't harass him too much. And we're going to see engage here by Quaranteam onto ETC. Oh.
Power slide, though. He does get away. Good job by Legacy coming in with a little bit of extra healing. Then Tori says hello. He walks right in, has to drop the Ardent Defender, though. But this is given time for Hanzo to sustain himself up. Then Tori, though, he's interrupted on his jump. Dragon Arrow comes in. They're still going to try and take the fight stage dive, even though they're a member down here. Cookie Man with the poison. Noah is in the back line looking for Carbon. Carbon is surviving, though. He's backing out, leaving them with just Cookie Man. But the active reload keeps him alive, and it's another great turnaround coming in from Quaranteam.
They are down, but they're definitely not out right now. They're doing all that they can, keeping their members nice and healthy, and they will be able to take this bell tower as only Urel went down there. But here comes the interrupt from Hanzo. Scatter Arrow does not connect. Legacy gonna get a couple of punches in. Cleanse coming out. Ooh, Li Ming damage is good.
Yeah, predicts the root ending point, picks up the kill. BKB walks in for another one. Noah eats an orb. God Filth is still trying to interrupt this, and Urel's on the way back. But the hit point bars aren't looking great. Here they come, moving forward. This fight is taking too long for CPog. There is the taunt. They move forward. Great sleep dart. Legacy. The palm does go off, but ETC's already gone. Reset's active, and this is a one fight for Quaranteam.
As Root comes out, Legacy doesn't have that palm. They drop the Tracer Bomb. He does go down. Cookie Man able to pick up another good kill there, but the team, guys, give it a rest. Like, it doesn't matter.
Over. It's gone. Let it go. In this case, they looked for one more. The disrespect arrow comes out, but they do still lose the shots. Urel is soaking, but this gives time for Boss, meaning we're going to be seeing 11-16 in favor of CPogX Fanclub still. But there's plenty of opportunity for Quaranteam to bring themselves back in, and right now they have momentum of over a level lead. Cookie Man going to defend this, keep this bell tower going, as now it's Quaranteam's time to take all the mercenaries.
It is going to put a lot of strain on the bottom camp here, or the bottom bell tower here. ETC is here. He uses the face melt to try and push him off, but decides it's not worth fighting over all by himself. Here come the Sappers. Rainer is doing his best to push as much damage as he can. Chuggy gets a nice overpower off. He throws ETC. Do they grab this? Looks like it. Yeah, I want to say it could be a decisive yes, but that's not the case. Out comes the power slide, or the Stage Dive does not connect onto anybody, and they maintain this bottom bell tower.
The wave clear stage dive, always nice to see. Dragon Arrow though is not going to try and take this as they look for unaverted on the backline, but they miss out on the pulse bomb. Cookie Man is just cleaving to death though. Palm will save Legacy again though as Cookie Man, he escapes again. Unbelievable.
Tracer going down up there in the top, and not the way at all I expected this fight to go. However, the Fanclub still has a lot of fight left in them. Tori and BKB are very healthy. They're going to stand behind this fort, which doesn't really offer too much protection. It goes down just in time for the single altar to spawn.
This will bring them down to 11. This will even up the score unless they can make a play on this middle fort, and that is something they could try and do. Immediate rush from CPogX Fanclub to that top lane to try and grab themselves a counter bell tower, because they know this bell tower is going to get dropped with no Tracer here. They can't contest this, meaning BKB is going to try and do split push ETC for a bit to at least buy them some future comeback potential, but with all vision lost, he's not going to be able to take it, but he has weakened it for later.
Definitely not the right build for split push ETC, which kind of sucks. Legacy having to jump away. Cookie Man is just such a menacing presence there in the front line. Point and click route for 1.75 seconds really sucks. But seeing the 3 members are down and available in the bottom and mid lanes, ETC is going to go ahead, zip up onto that top bell tower. And both teams just looking to grab forts right now. Structures are the most important thing right at the moment.
And this is the play, and very good strategy here by CPogX Fanclub, splitting their attention between the two of them, making Quaranteam split up and chase them because their team fight has been very good. They look for Cookie Man here, Dragon Arrow under enemy bell tower, and that kill is huge right now, with Zul, Cookie Man finally stepping up too far. BKB completely uncontested, he held stage dive. Has he held it too long though? People are coming. Will they land the shots? No, they let him go. In the meantime, the stage dive comes out instead. He decides not to port and stage dives a camp. Unreal. Unreal. This game is crazy.
They're going to get it. I don't think that Quaranteam knows that he stage dived. So they're going to have to wonder, is he going to come? Are they going to engage on us when the Dragon Arrow is up? Like,
now they know. With him showing up. But the pressure is on. They grab back top. Bot altar is available. They're going to channel this in. It will be a 1 altar lead channel, bringing us down to 6.
Top camp being taken alt, and meanwhile as the team tries to step up and grab this top fort to equalize the bell towers here, they're not going to be able to do so, not having that vision. They're just going to back up, make sure nobody gets caught out, because again, they don't know that ETC doesn't have stage dive, so they could just go ahead, get a play of the game, arrow in, which was picked up by Hanzo's level 20, and then follow up with big stage dive. And here exactly it is. No ETC follow up. Cookie Man running for his life. ETC getting blasted in the top lane. Meanwhile, so got a little too far. Went for the death metal. So now he's got both ults. Feels great.
Yeah, he has both ults in this case. That is exactly probably why he didn't stage dive, because he was probably dead. So Noah the greed! He doesn't get it. Cookie Man lives again. Cookie Man has been so lucky with his escapes this whole game. Uh-oh.
The skill is just unreal there. But have the team overstay. They're running as fast as they can. Legacy dashes to Noah, making sure they are unstoppable, trying their best to get out. Team succeeds easily enough. Noah's able to tap, and everyone resets. Just going to go ahead, wait for ETC to grab back, potentially look at the top fort, and that cackling means the boss is back.
Double altar phase in the bottom lane. This is not lethal for either of our teams, despite how close it is. We see the
will be
defense.
Difficult. With 2 if they grab it, though. I mean, this would be lethal for Quaranteam. Be a big struggle for CPog if either one of them lose their lose both altars here. I don't know if that'll be the case. Hanzo is top lane, but they do have that play of the game ready, so they can jump in at any time. Meanwhile, Cookie Man just Grabs that altar basically uncontested.
Dragon Arrow was used, they look for unaverted, they picked up the kill, but has he been focused out, he will get picked off. And down goes Tracer as well, 2 for 1. We're seeing the focus onto Yarel now, she's trying to stay alive. ETC is porting back, he still has stage dive to rejoin here, it's a really cool move. But Nintori has been left all alone. He's gonna maybe survive this though, thanks to the repulsion of Li Ming. They still pick up the damage and the kill, and this is bad. These deaths are really bad for CPog because now there's time for Quaranteam to maybe just try and rush down 2 altars and end the game. They don't, they leave it, they let it go.
We're gonna grab these both bottom camps, however, and that can be a lot of. Actually, no, they're choosing the boss ends the game, and that's what they're looking to do. With 3 members down, this could be game number 2. Going back over to Quaranteam. Here come the 2 members alive to try and contest. They have to take this 3v5 right here, right now. With 13 seconds before Hanzo can come back in. Tracer will be a little bit later because she doesn't have that global ability. BKB looking for an optimal place to die. Out comes the palm. It does connect.
The skeleton saves him, lets the palm go off. They've leashed boss. Legacy's trying to retreat, but there's the reset. Dragon Arrow, hi Hanzo. There's the nano boost, immediate turnaround though, but they forced the leash. They're still alive, assuming they don't die here. BKB, he dies. There's Death Mosh, and now that's bad. It's now Hanzo and Tracer. No frontline for them. Urel's miles away. Oh, Gotfeld flicks into it.
Oh, Gotfeld running for their life. That Banshee just chasing him as fast as they can. 45 health. Matters not. Tracer does go down. This is going to be game number 2 going over to Quaranteam.
That is GG. Quaranteam 2-0 up in this best of 5. And they found the way. CPog, they've picked a very aggressive composition, but the crisis management of Quaranteam was so good there to deal with such an insanely aggressive style.
They just waited for the team to come to them. They knew they would, and they reacted really well to it. And then I think a couple of just unusual choices kind of cost the fan club the game there. ETC dying in the top was really difficult for them to come back from. And then not having that mosh or that stage dive later on in the game, yeah, they got the camp, but they didn't get a whole lot out of it. It's maybe not necessarily the right call that time.
Not in this case, no. The abilities were there, the style was there, but the counterplay was too good. And a big shout out to top of the damage chart, Carbon on that Li Ming. You've been talking about it since before we even started game number 1, but he was predicting and blasting Noah into next week. Noah was zoned so many times because they got hit by Li Ming, and with Karazim on the board, there's no out-of-combat healing available until the fight is over, so Tracer was just taken out of the fight a lot.
Right now, we've had a couple of our key Tracer mains said that she's not in a great spot right now, despite getting her life lead, and that shows it. The best she could do was kind of harass the Garage, but like you said, with the Zul, with the Li Ming, and the Rainer, there wasn't a whole lot she could do. It was really difficult to get into the backline with the one frontliner there from Garage and Zul staying in the back. And then the rest of the team, they dove in, just not enough, unfortunately.
And with some of these talents at the end, it's the second play of the game, Hanzo, we've seen, and I really do like this global stun engage they've been using with this style. And the ETC stage dive build was a really cool idea to follow up on it. Tracer, though, seemed to be incredibly effective, but the counterplay was so good. The counter ability from the side of Quaranteam is what kept them in that game, without having any real direct Tracer counters outside of Reyna.
They adapt really, really well, and that's what makes this the highest level of play. You have to kind of figure out what your enemy is doing, and I'm loving these comps from the can play. I think they're so innovative, and I would love to run some of them myself, but if your team can figure them out really quickly, then they kind of just fall apart, you know?
Yeah, there's been a lot of
A lot of quick thinking on
Yeah.
the side of Quarantine, which is not at all a slight to CPOG because, like I said, this is such a smart way to play. It's just the quick thinking from the members of Quarantine seems to be there tonight.
It really does, and this shows why they are playing so well. They remember. Let's have a quick look at the bracket to let you know how people came here. Quaranteam is seed number 4. CPogX Fan Club are currently seed number 2, and well, they hadn't dropped a single match in playoffs reaching this point, and now they've immediately dropped 2. Quaranteam, though, they upset the number 1 seed team, and they are showing that they 100% deserve to be here in this series and in what is hopefully soon, once we get a lobby, going to be our map number 3.
One thing I will say, though, is you can never count the fan club out. I've seen them a couple of times, and when their backs are to the wall, they show up. They are really, really good under pressure. So I think that Quarantine might have to be careful in game 3. They're bringing their A game. You know, they've got the comps out that are super spicy. You know, now we're getting into like the extra spicy comps, or maybe they do play meta and they just smack. The reverse sweep starts now. I'm calling it. We'll see. We'll see if I'm wrong.
We will see. I'm excited if you are correct, though, because the map, as we already have selected here, is going to be Dragonshire, and by the looks of it, it was selected by CPogX Fan Club, unless they haven't changed the settings yet. We'll find out in a bit. But Dragonshire means they have chosen the map for the first time in this series, and I guess when you're not picking as many of the meta heroes and just going for your own style, you don't really need first pick as much.
Yeah, they have a plan, and none of it involves any of those tippy top tier picks, which again is a genius way to play. There are so many times where you know you go into great draft and you're like, okay, this is perfect, but the cornerstone of it is a gray main, and then it's picked or banned away, and you're like, well, I think Zul'jin could also work, and then it never can.
Zul'jin is a wonderful hero in Brawl, and that is about it there. No, he has his potential. He is very, very solid. He's just very easy to counter in coordinated play, and that's always the joy of seeing these very high-level games and why we don't, unfortunately, see the Zul'jin. I am, however, very much enjoying the fact that CPogX are giving us a tour of all the buffed heroes.
Yeah, they're dancing around on that new patch. You know, they were up late crafting, depending on what was changed, what was nerfed. Johanna hasn't been seen at all. Like nobody's
Yeah.
even considered her. It feels bad. I was playing some Johanna uh last night, and I was just like, man, this sucks. This is awful. I hate this. Blizzard, why?
I'm trying to have a look to see, like, who else got buffed. The problem is the patch notes on the Battle.net launcher are for the patch before this, which doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't
Yeah,
surprise
I
me
know,
at
what
all.
the heck?
But yeah, I
I
was
would
gonna.
go click.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna see like who else had got buffed, so we could predict who they're playing next. Because we've seen Karazim, we've seen Stitches. I guess it has to be Blaze now, right?
Blaze, or there was one level 4 buff to Mal'Ganis,
That's
you
true.
know, so like you could get, oh gosh, what is it? It's like a baby slow or something, right? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
What I find about the patch notes is hilarious, as it says the date for the correct patch notes, but the old ones are there. So like they changed some of it.
Yeah, they just haven't got round to the launcher bit yet. They put it on the website, and then the launcher, they don't have it to pushed automatically. It's weird. Oh yeah, Cho'Gall got buffs. Excellent
I was
point,
just
Goliath.
gonna say.
And I think we've seen CPog play Cho'Gall. Maybe?
Maybe. It's been so long at this point. I'm like a grizzled veteran. Like I don't know. I was gonna make a comment, but I can't think of any teams off the top of my head right now.
I witnessed the Cho'Gall Wars of '87.
Yeah, there we go. Pretend I said that.
Back in my day, Abatha used to clone heroics. Uh,
Oh god, do you remember that?
yeah, it was.
Remember when Bala had battle momentum?
Oh, that was fun though. It was really dumb, but it was silly. I liked
Oh
that
man,
one.
you just died.
And also, I mean, my personal favorite, Cast Aside Tyrael, was always a really fun talent. Were you around for that?
Was that the same when he had the clothesline and it was broken and you could just run at people and kill them at like level 1?
No, that was it was like Hand of Free. It was, I think it was like Hand of Freedom or something. It was called something else. It's really hard to find now. I remember using that idea, but he could link himself to someone, and when they took damage, he would reduce that damage on them and take part of it himself. So that, like, between the two of you, you take like 50% of the damage or 75% of damage overall, and then you could upgrade it, like you say, to do the line between you two to do damage. So you just clothesline people, like you say. But the other one was the Cast Aside is, this is after he had Smite. And what it would
Mhm.
do is, Smite draws, I'm going to show you, but you can't see, it draws from left to right, or
Yes.
right to left. So what Cast Aside would do is, as it would draw, it would push anyone caught in it on the enemy side with the drawing.
Okay.
So the meta strategy for a while in Hero League was to play Tyrael Nazebo, drop a zombie wall, and then cast aside people into the zombie wall.
Okay.
That was the meta build for a while.
That
But it
sounds
was
toxic.
so good. That talent was so, so good. I'm glad it got nerfed. And yes, I do remember when Chromie had Bye Bye Mr. Wind Up Bird, which is, for starters, Mrs. Wind Up Bird, for starters, a fantastic name. Absolutely love it. You need to be in the lobby, by the way.
What? I didn't see it. Oh. You guys have always been waiting on me. Nobody said anything.
Let me let them know we're ready. Okay, we're good. So yes, we have our lobby, but yeah, that's some of the weird old stuff. There's a lot of very weird old stuff in Heroes of the Storm. I mean, do you know about artifacts? Do you even know about those, or were they before
I
you?
know about Artifact. They were before my time.
Okay, I miss one-shot Diablo build with artifacts where his Firestomp used to come out in a star. And what he would do, as we head into the draft, what he would do is he would Firestomp, for starters, take both the spell power artifacts, because you could get ones that just gave you straight spell power, would Firestomp, Shadow Charge, and then overpower someone just as all of the Firestomp shots came back. So you'd be hit by like 12 in one go, all buffed with spell power, and it could one-shot a Valor as Diablo. It was
Oof.
amazing. It was absolutely amazing. To chat, while we're seeing this draft go through, tell us some of your favourite old Heroes of the Storm things that were removed, things that were in beta or alpha, just things that don't exist anymore. As for now, we're into the draft, and Abatha going to be banned out very early once again, Quaranteam, not wanting to deal with it.
Also gonna get rid of that Cassia. Once again, she was nerfed. That's not enough here. Vikings gonna be banned away. Not necessarily their best map, but we also saw TL Clap at Heroes Hearth with them. So, like, who can really say, Vikings are so strong right now. And then, of course, at 13 and 16 with those Executioner talents, like, having 3 people do 2%, 0.5% of your health as somebody like a Urel or a Diablo, it just feels miserable. So get him out of here.
As there goes the Ana, something Quaranteam have been leaning on a little bit, so they're just going to take that out. But immediately, apparently still good, ETC gonna come in for Jachuggy as the first pick for Quaranteam. And honestly, yeah, the nerf to his escape and his peeling potential is solid, but ETC's already such an intermittent engaged tank already, so I guess it's not enough for pro players to stop playing it.
Blizzard has just decided they don't want anyone to have fun. Like, take all the fun out of the team. That's why they only nerfed ETC slightly. But we are going to
Hey!
see that Johanna finally come out. The best tank to deal with ETC, as she does have 2 really solid stuns to displace that mosh pit. And then, of course, the Iron Skin, which was nerfed by 5 whole seconds, which in my opinion is entirely too much. But we do get to see her, and I'm super excited about it because everybody loves a good Johanna.
And now with that Johanna on the board and Reina to follow it up, we're going to see Hanzo stolen away! Quaranteam, they're just stealing everything from the side of CPogX Fanclub. Do they swap sides? No, it's just stealing all their stuff. But Stukov going to come in, a little bit of disengage there, a little bit of area control. I like it.
We're going to see that Rainer taken away for the fan club, however, as well. So everybody's just kind of shifting right now. Rexar going to be banned away. He's very strong on that top lane. Nobody looks like they want to play Kira into him right now. I learned the other day also, Illidan, if played correctly, is a super spicy pick into Rexar because there's not a whole lot Misha Bear can do about Illidan on Rexar body.
That's a fair point. It's very hard to deal with, but in this case, not going to have to worry about it as Yorel's going to be banned out as well. So top lane getting bullied. Now CPog, Reina, Johanna on the board. Where do they go from here? Are they going to go weird? Are they going to keep it weird, or are we going to see something a little bit more standard? Johanna Blaze is a classic combo, and new Blaze.
Hear me out. We're going to see the Light Bomb Falling Sword combo, which kind of fell out for some reason, and I have no idea why, because it's still insane, and I'm immediately proven incorrect, as we're going to see Morales and Greymane. What if this is a Tyrael offlane and they juice pirates this?
Tyrael offlane? Their damage output is so terrible. If they do
and
that,
they have Greymane and Raider. Like,
yeah, but
that's
Johanna?
insane.
I wouldn't really call Johanna an effective juice pirater, but I guess she offers a lot of blind. I mean, the fact is, they have the potential to do that now. They actually have the abilities. I'm getting flashbacks to our last cast together, and I'm hoping it's not going to be the same case as, there it is. They don't want to deal with juice pirates, so we have Falstad Gust and Zeratul VP, both heroics that shut down a juice pirate style. They now also have great structure race. Quaranteam, they've had the number. If this is the strategy, it's been rumbled.
Okay. Okay, hear me out now this time, though. Never mind.
I mean...
It's gonna be a 10.
Okay. So, this doesn't have to be Juice Pirates. Morales isn't amazing, but she's not the worst. So seeing her in this, for starters, they could still boat, and they could still fly up to gank top lane and gank Chen and use it for ganks and rotations. And on this map, you're basically in range of everything at all points, meaning your global ability is actually really insane. But on the other side, they could just go Stim Drone Greymane or Stim Drone Raider, and both would be really good.
My best friend Noah in chat, sorry, Whoa No in chat saying, this looks like a Noah draft. We'll have to see. I mean, Morales is also in the game. Like, we could have seen, you know, maybe like a Rhaegar there, or a Deckard, I think would have been really, really solid. But these guys are much, much better than I am. So as we move on to our third and potentially final game of the evening, I'm excited to see what CPog does with the spicy comp.
As am I. As ladies and gentlemen, we are into the draft, and on the right-hand side, it is going to be CPogX Fanclub with Got Filth playing on that Greymane BKB on Johanna and the Pleb Horse. Nintori on the Chen. We have the Reina played by Noah, and Legacy on that Morales. And Jinxie, who's on the left.
On the left-hand side, we have Carbon rocking that Faust Edge. Chuggy will be your ETC. Weary Day on that Stukov. Cookie Man is Zeratul. And Unaverted is your Hanzo. This is Quaranteam.
And let's have a look at the level 1s as we come in here. So far, no one wants to fight. Massive full lane split coming in from CPog. Level 1s, we have Bribestad. They want the PV. They want the long game. It's a risky idea, but the long game could work out in their favor. Morales, standard Caduceus feedback, and we are seeing Storm Stout's secret recipe coming in for Chen. I don't believe that's the meta.
I know absolutely nothing about Chen, so I will have to take your word for it. Unfortunately, there we're going to see Got Filth getting poked out by Carbon here. It's able to dash away using that Dark Flight. And they get out. No deaths yet. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, BKB is showing that Johanna still is incredibly strong as that Condemn comes out and the team runs away with roughly 50% health.
One time I missed here. Reactive Ballista Pause coming in for the Stukov here. Wants to protect himself from the burst of Greymane. Very sensible here. BKB zones away. And also worth noting, still hold your ground. And honestly, that's the worst part about this Johanna nerf. The fact that this talent is now so essential. And if you don't pick it, you're hamstringing yourself to the point of almost unplayability.
25 second. I mean, that's Samuro's ultimate cooldown. Just on her trait. I know there are heroes with longer traits, such as like Dragon Queen, but I don't feel like Iron Skin is as impactful as, you know, some of those other cooldowns. Having that 25 seconds, it just feels rough, and you really, really got to understand that, okay, we need to commit to this fight, otherwise we're out for 30 seconds, nearly.
So mercenaries for both teams mirrored almost exactly. An attempt was made to harass BKB and also prevents him from taking the Dragon Knight as level 4 is hit for both teams. Cellular Reactor coming in for Morales, wants to keep herself safe from burst potential. And we are seeing the Biotic Armor for Stukov. Again, all the damage is auto attacks, so it makes a lot of sense here, except for Chen, who Chen has gone for Accumulating Flame, realizing that all his damage is auto attacks and there's a lot of block talents. He's like, well, let's mix it up, let's do some spell damage.
Really, really nicely done by CPog. They have this early game just on lock right now. Up in the top lane, this Bruiser Camp is getting so much value. Poor Zeratul can do nothing. He doesn't have really good wave clear. Level 7 is really when it turns online. And the Siege of Greymane is just so impressive. Up comes Carbon to help. Now unaverted. Takes a ton of damage. Has to use that natural agility to jump over. ETC comes down, but I really think Quaranteam jumped the gun with the Falstad Zeratul. Now, this could be something that they play often, but so far, it's really not working out for him well. It's, Morales actually going down. I eat my words. However, Weary Day in the back gets condemned. Greymane is just a menace.
The Zeratul Falstad, 100% reactionary to the potential of Juice Pirates. Like you said, if that Tyrael or someone else with really good race, like a Sonya, had snuck in as the final pickup, that still could have been a Juice Pirates. Tyrael would have been a solid choice there. But instead, they played around it. They have been outdrafted, at least in that aspect, by CPogX. It's a sneaky strategy they've gone for, and so far, it's working. The question is, though, we've seen this before. Can they keep this up until the late game?
They just have to make sure not to stagger their deaths in the late game. I think that was just critical to their loss in game number 2. Unaverted just being destroyed down here in this bottom lane. And I don't think there's a single lane that Quaranteam is currently winning.
They are struggling. Everything is pushed up. A little bit of push came out in that top lane. And Zeratul will reclaim while that's happening. But the fact is, now Brewmaster's balance, Zeratul can't even get close to killing Chen. Let's watch this. Yep, that's how that should go. Zeratul lost a big chunk of health, and then Tori gets the point.
Yeah, 25% every single time. You have 4 chances to contest. And if your team can't do something in the bottom lane before that, then you just die. Johanna does drop that Iron Skin there. We'll see. She's got another 20 seconds until it comes back online. Noah just stepping up as fast as they can. Maybe a little bit too far. Gets pushed back by the ETC, but Greymane is just dishing out the damage. BKB healing so nicely. Everybody gets out nice and safe.
They all survive here. We've gone for the Vandium plating here. Stuns, roots, that is all extra armor from Legacy, which is gonna really help against ETC. Double channel interrupted again, this time by Unaverted on Hanzo. As Mercenary Camp's being taken. Reyna, by the way, did go for Ace in the Hole, so they're gonna be a little slower on this, but they will get it.
Right now, Quaranteam, they're able to prevent the Dragon Knight from being picked up, but every time they do, they lose so much, and CPogX Fanclub is just chasing them around the map. You want to take the bottom point? Fine, we'll grab a camp. You want to contest us in the mid? We'll take your top fort, and they're just dominating, showing why they deserve to be here and how this is their last chance, and they're not going to squander it, as Raynor gets immediately popped.
That was nice. That was really nice. That was a big play for them, picking up that kill right before level 10's hit, meaning they now have the map pressure. They now have the ability to try and make something happen. They're going to use it to siege bot lane. As level 10 is available, no Juice Pirates, it is the Stim drone. Stim Greymane, Stim Raider, all value. As BKB, he's just going to tank.
Gonna take a lot of damage there. Dude Zach, thank you very much for the raiding party of 13. Welcome everybody. This is the heroic finals for NGS Season 9 run, game number 3 in our best of 5 series. Great Rainer is back, and now it looks like CPogX Fan Club are looking to step on the point. However, he takes a lot of damage. Noah showing no fear. Maybe he should. BKB taking a little bit of damage, gets hit by the Stukov. Everybody has to squid.
Wow.
And what happened? He had like 50% health, and then he died.
Yeah, he had a health bar, and then it's gone. Goliath very low there. I think he got hit by the scatter arrow here, and that caught him with like every shot of it. And it's Hanzo's scatter arrow with simple geometry and never outmatched, meaning he just kind of kicks ass, and in this case, double channel comes in. Quaranteam somehow get the first Dragon Eye after picking up 2 kills, staggering those deaths. They are gonna dominate this mid lane.
Whee. Swift kick onto Rainer, making sure he's not going to be able to push on that Dragon Knight too terribly much. BKB coming in, has to be careful. He doesn't have very much health at all. Dragon Knight at about 50% health. They are going to go ahead back off. Ford also taking about half damage there. Chen getting slid on by ETC, and this Hanzo is just on top of it. That simple geometry really paying dividends as Barrel comes out, unaverted, gets the natural agility interrupted, goes down. Stream Drone was popped there as well for the Rainer. He's going to try and poke down this Dragon Knight, and it looks like that's going to be the last of what Quaranteam can get with this objective.
That's really nice, really good pickup. Perfect timing as well with, he's on top of it, he's on top of something, and in this case it was the hedge as he was interrupted by the barrel. Nintori is getting yanked. Nintori is leaving.
Oh, the stagger's coming out. Can anyone come to heal? A fantastic flying kick there, and here comes the rest of the team. However, Zeratul hot on his tail. Here comes Morales. The arrow is whiffed.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, Morales.
They're looking for Cookie Man instead. There's the gust. Morales is the target. Mosh interrupted. Legacy. He's out, and the fight is now turning onto Weary Day. But there's the reactive Ballista Pulse. Not enough, though. And the go for the throw. They pick up 2. And Nomad gets left behind. CPogX Fan Club means CPogX Family Club, because no one is left behind. Everyone gets out, and they get the kills.
Oh, thank you. Every time I've been like, yeah, CPogX has totally got this, then something happens and somebody goes down. But once again, proving that they deserve to be here, and they are not going to go down without a fight, picking up 2 very strong kills there. They're going to go ahead, grab these aggressive bruisers, and now Zeratul's on the wrong side of his own fort as Nintori is just harassing him to no end.
And with that Brewmaster's balance, he's so mobile. He's so hard to pin down. And that's exactly what we're seeing. He's just going to keep kicking Cookie Man. That is Nintori's job right now. Keep annoying Cookie Man forever while the rest of the team keeps going. Because as long as Zeratul's over there, he's not going to blow up Morales. And that's the idea here. They're going to get the 4 with the double camp. And this is looking good. Zeratul, though, missing on the map. And immediately, Chen comes to join his team.
Out comes the Blessed Shield. Carbon in a really big trouble, but out comes the Gust and the Dragon Arrow. Carbon still very low, though. Johanna finishes him off. Weary Day running for their life. Hanzo so low. Rainer is going to be the next to go down, as is Zeratul there, and that is going to be 4 for 1. CPogX Fan Club looking at these towers. Nintori jumping over the wall. He's, I don't care about your keep. Taking all the damage, being nice and healed up with this siege camp. But this keep is in some serious trouble.
9 seconds till Falstad. They're going to try. They're going for the end, Jinxie, as they move onto the core. No stim drone, nothing like that, but they have Raider and they have Greymane. And nope, they have to give this up. Nintori's out. He leaves. He changes his mind. That was a mistake, and they're going to have to try and roll out of this. Chuggy, he's looking for the chance to try and pick someone off, try and punish, but the slow is too good, and they're going to get out.
That could be a little bit of heart palpitations there, Tetcher, because there were 3 seconds left on those death timers, and I'm all for a bold play, but when there are 3 seconds left and you're in your enemy's base, maybe consider backing out, which of course they did. That camp's still on the core there, keeping Falstad stuck in the back. Team's just going to go ahead, collect all these camp now and look to contest for this Dragon Knight. With a keep down, they could maybe consider ending there. Out comes the mosh pit. Chen in a rough spot. Barrels away to safely.
No way! Is the poison gonna get him? He's so low, he gets out with the barrel!
Yes!
Now Legacy, though, is in so much trouble. This time Legacy cannot escape. There's the gust, but they still get covered. Notori's on unaverted. This is unreal. As here comes Godfilth, reset one with the go for the throw, but ETC picks him off and saves the day. Jachoggi just saved his team in this game, but Noah takes out Zeratul. Jachoggi will drop here. BKB survives thanks to enough to share, and unaverted. I think he might have made a mistake here. He's going to get chased down. Noah's got the speed boost. He wants it, but unaverted's too fast.
He's going to get away with that natural agility. All the while, Dragon Knight was picked up there for CPogX Fan Club, and they are running it down bottom. Falstad is alive. They're not going to go for the end. They're just going to go ahead and take this fort. Team's death timers are too short. They don't have a wall to escape, so this is kind of a spicy play here.
Yeah, Noah, the person who can't leave, is going to wake his way the long way around. And Tori can obviously jump over the wall. Dragonite doesn't actually care, as it turns out. Just going to blast through that side wall and leave. But they've taken down another fort. That's periodic catapults. That's a lot less area for Quaranteam to retreat to. And this is really nicely executed. CPogX Fan Club are back in this game, and they are holding themselves in this. They blast through the fountain. They hold themselves together. They haven't even lost a fort yet, with top being the closest. Falsa stuck in bot lane again. This is rough for Quaranteam, and CPogX, that reverse sweep you may have predicted may be coming to pass if they could keep this up.
They got so much more with that Dragon Knight than Quaranteam did on their first time. Like you said, they haven't even lost a fort, and there are 2 solid CPogX Fan Club banners in the side of their team. 3, actually. The keep is gone as well. And now the team is waiting for someone to clear. They know that this bottom lane is a point of contention. It is their way to assure a victory. The whole team is here. They decided to clear those giants. All the giants go down. Out comes the Void Prison. Do we see something happen here?
Virulent reaction picks off BKB. The barrel, they try to get Cookie Man into the base, but they can't do it, and that's going to force a disengage. But they burnt Stim Drone, they burnt Barrel, and they lost Johanna. And suddenly, Quaranteam, they find their momentum, they find their positioning, and they're going to start taking mercenaries. They will get this bottom fort. And Reina and Chen should be able to take this. Chen should be able to tank this well enough that they should hold.
Go ahead and clear it out. Now, this is a minor setback. I wouldn't say this is a game-ending scenario. Like you said, bottom lanes should be equalized a little bit here. Maybe even the mid fort or top, because neither one of them are really the healthiest, but that pretty much just evens up the map here. As far as structures go, CPogX Fan Club is sitting pretty. They're going to go ahead and clear out these bruisers. Take a little bit. They might have, they take a teensy tiny bit of tower damage there. 1 baby minion auto attack. Dragon Knight activates in 7 seconds. Johanna will be up in 1. Now, where do they look to contest? Top lane, I think, would be strong as they actually don't have a well up there. Okay, never mind. Safe place to retreat, though. We'll have to see what the teams look to do as they both have an opportunity to reset here now.
BKB backs away. They hold it with level 20 available for them. They're going to try and make the play. Zeratul, 4-man cleave. But they hold. They sustain. Blessed Shield. This is the opportunity for CPogX to pull the trigger as they look for it. Here comes Cookie Man into the backline. It's going to try and get multi-man VPs, but instead he gets focused down. Forced to blink out. Johanna's looking for it as the Dragonite is snuck away by Chen during all of that. They don't have Stim. They don't have Barrel. They don't have Blessed. But they do have a Dragon. And they have an Axe. And they have a core to try and kill.
Quaranteam still isn't level 20, so this is a really strong push for CPogX Fan Club here. The Dragon's taking a little bit of damage, but they don't have a ton of, like, humongous bursts. This isn't like the Greymane that we saw in game number 1 that can just kind of chew down the objective. Johanna taking a little bit of damage there. Out comes the Void Prison. Out comes the Mosh Pit. Does get interrupted. However, the Dragon is completely ignoring their team just on the core. Falstad turning to trying to help. Cookie Man is getting hit. Gets hit by the Condemn. does go down. The dragon has been finished. Got Filth very low, does get popped there by that scatter arrow. They have 33% on that core. Are they going to look to end here, or are they going to back out?
They move forward, dancing in and out of the Chen. There's the barrel. He looked for unraveled, but he makes it over with the natural agility. He's escaping. There's the gust, splitting the team. Legacy is very separated from his team now as Chinchungi is trying to divide the team in two, but it's BKB who's tanking through, and it's enough to share. They hold the line, trying to look for their chance when that shield is down, but they can't push any further. Level 20 is available. Time's up, and Quaranteam are going to repel CPogX Fanclub again, but not for long. Falstad is deleted here.
Now it's a really difficult defense for Quaranteam. ETC, Hanzo, and Stukov, not necessarily the best defenders. The Sim drone is back up. Raynor is on the court. It's falling quickly. 50%. Chen is there. Raynor hitting it with his bayonet. 30%. Do we have a game number 4? 13%. And the core goes down. CPogX Fanclub with a dominant game number 3. Promises at least one more match, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folks.
What an insane fight from CPogX at the end there. They knew their moments, going for a less burst-heavy composition and winning with Morales. And the healing output, she kept up with Stukov, and honestly, she kept people alive repeatedly in those games with the armor against the stuns and the solid healing output. That was really nicely done, but the star of that show has to be Nintori. What a dominant top lane. A lot of those kills were his engages and his bursts. I've got to give it to Chen, MVP of that game at least.
I definitely have to agree. The 6 save in middle lane was just incredible. Being able to get out there and heal themselves back up and then go back in. Legacy went down, but if I remember correctly, that fight did end up going like 2 for 1 for the Morales there. So Nintori, like 10 man next game, maybe?
I mean, maybe. That's Chen's best map by quite a bit outside of maybe Braxis, but Braxis is banned, so we'll have to see. He went a Purifying Brew at the end, by the way, which is a really clutch talent to pick up. 1.5 seconds of unstoppable every time you brew is really helpful and keeps them in the game quite a bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a series. We are still on match point for Quaranteam, but CPogX Fanclub is now getting ready to roll. Let's see if they can do this. As right now, we have our next map. They haven't changed the pick, so I'm going to assume that this is another map pick coming in for CPogX Fanclub, unless they change it. So right now, unless stated otherwise, we are going to be heading to Cursed Hollow as our third map of the day. We already have a lobby that is up. We're going to be getting into that very shortly and getting ready for game number 4.
Have to see, like you said, if this is the start of the reverse sweep. Curse Hollow in some ways does play very similarly to Dragon Tire in the fact that it is very large. There isn't really a 4-man for it, but you can go ahead and kind of bully some of the lanes the same way, seeing as the team has to rotate around, and there's a lot less room for error as it is so big. You know, you leave somebody alone for too long. We see how CPogX Fanclub loves to push, and I know you are very excited to get into this game number 4, aren't ya?
You have been given host, by the way, so the teams have asked if you could give it back, because they accidentally gave it to you.
Huh, yeah, I don't want that.
Me neither. Give it to Legacy.
Legacy? Okay. Yeah, you can have host.
We don't want it. We don't want to deal with hosting.
I don't want to do any
hard.
of that. Like, I'm not good at things. Like, don't make me.
Oh dear. As well, we're getting everyone in. Players are rolling in. Once again, Cursed Hollow is going to be our map of choice. As we are at match point for Quaranteam. CPogX Fanclub, though, they have nearly won, or they put themselves in positions where they could get victories 4 games in a row. Only one of them sorry, 3 games in a row. Only one of them they've been able to do so far. But we see that they could do it. We see they have that potential. And I honestly believe in CPogX Fan Club if they could do it. But Quaranteam have shown they have the reactions, they have the drafting skills, they have what it takes to be champions. Thank you, the Crushinator, for the raid. That's a great name.
I really like that name. Thank you guys. Welcome. We're on game number 4 in our best of 5 series, Heroic finals. So thank you all so much for joining us. We're just ready to get started, and I am super psyched to see what CPogX Fan Club brings to us. And one thing that I want to talk about that I totally forgot to mention, we might be seeing a little bit more go for the throat on Greymane, as Cursed Bullet was nerfed in the most recent patch.
You're
It's
right.
5% health difference, which is quite a bit if you're looking at a big thick boy like a Johanna or a Diablo.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent point. I didn't think of that. You are right. That Cursed Bullet nerf does make Go for the Throat viable, and it was already viable. And what we saw there, the resets that we saw coming in from Gotfilth were, as you could say, absolutely filthy. Because he was blasting everyone in his way there, which was very cool to see. And yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see more Go for the Throat if we keep seeing Greymanes, which is cool because I like resets. I like, even though the reset heroes are a lot of the time kind of annoying, like Li Ming and Genji, I do like resets. They are fun.
Yeah, they can definitely turn the tide of a game. I mean, there are so many times you go in and like Li Ming comes in, you're like, well, we all have 50% health and she's killed someone, so this objective fight is over. We'll have to see if Carbon's Li Ming, speaking of such, is allowed to be played in this second game, if they're going to go ahead and ban out, because like our Towers of Doom game, she has an exponential poke for the objective.
She really does, and being able to poke there is going to be really solid. It's going to be very good for the actual harassment on the objective, and more importantly, not more importantly, equally as important, harassment onto boss, because that's where games can be ended or thrown in this map. It's called the Throw Pit for a reason. It's not the biggest Throw Pit. That title's still belonging to Sky Temple, which is probably another one of the many reasons players don't like to play it. Second place, probably. Honestly, would you rate Cursed or Tomb higher as a Throw Pit?
Oh, goodness.
Cursed does have 2 of them.
Yeah. In terms of like instant gratification, I would say Tomb. Curse Hollow has a lot of like you throw on the boss and then you never quite make it back, but it doesn't feel as bad as like, well, we lost, GG. You just kind of like suffer throughout the rest of the game. It would be my assessment of the Cursed Hollow bosses.
That makes sense to me. So, while we're waiting for Gotfilth to arrive back and we can get underway, I've scrolled up in chat to when I asked everyone to put in their favorite stuff that's removed or old in Heroes of the Storm, and I'm just going to read off some of these here. Piano Monk. Piano Monk was great. Piano Uther and Piano Brightwing were also great when every support had 5 activatables. That was always fun. Battle Momentum Thrall. I forgot he had that. Straight up. Tychus having 2 life bars, where his Odin would give him just a second life bar on top of his first. That was always fun. Is Chen the only hero who can have that? Is Chen the only hero who has that on his ult now, where he gets a second health bar?
He doesn't, because if you kill all 3 of them, they die.
That's true, because his health is related to it. You are right. Kael'thas on release, yes and no thank you. That was terrible. Ammo on towers, that was a classic. Yeah, I've talked about the only summit I was ever invited to for Blizzard was the one where they removed ammo from towers, and I immediately played Viking. I immediately started playing heroes that had ammo removing talents to see how they reworked them, and I played the Vikings, and no one removed the ammo reducing talent on its sabotage for Eric, and I told them and they'd forgotten it existed. They just straight up forgot that talent existed. And you want to know how they changed it on release? They did nothing. All they did was remove the ammo and didn't even change the damage. So that's why that talent is ass. Because it was too bad to be picked before, and then it got nerfed, and they still haven't changed it. And looks like we're off. We are
Oh
heading into the
man.
draft, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 4 of the Grand Finals for Heroic Division in Division S. Division S,
There was
oh,
one that
sorry,
was
in NGS.
posted. There was one that was posted by Rhiannon that I wanted to touch on because it was one of my personal favorites because I was a fledgling tank at the time, and that was when Varian's Warbringer was a stun.
Oh, that
And
was
that was
fun.
disgusting. It was so fun to play. He's never quite recovered from that. Like he's he's not even. I won't even say he's still good because he's not. He's
He has
also
a
in the
place.
game.
He has his place, but yeah, he's not as good anymore. Also, one of my favorites, the promote meta. That was a classic. That was a very good one. And of course, we'd be amiss if we were to mention it, S of Yoan. S of Yoan was terribly good, way too good, as we're seeing ban-wise, CPogX Fanclub, the Cassia and the Ana, and Quaranteam, they're still not wanting to deal with those globals, those wildcard heroes, so they take out Abathur and Vikings.
Ana once again being banned away. Do not want to deal with that. The Greymane, too powerful to let slip through on the first pick. Unaverted picks that up, and I think that's going to be great for them because so far, I mean, the team that's on Greymane has won. Like that's been the trend so far.
That is true. Yeah, you're right. Just thought about that, and you are right. But immediately, ETC and Urel. Now, this didn't work as well the first time they did it, but they nearly won. They didn't win, but they nearly won. In this case, they could just rush the course, so they have more potential here. But Carbon, he's got that Li Ming back. The burst potential plus Diablo means Quaranteam are out for blood. This time, they are ready to blow people up themselves. They are taking CPogX strategy, and they are running it against them.
Is going to be really hard to play against, but with the ETC Urel coming out, it's going to be a very, very early offlane, but so very solid from CPogX Fanclub. I think they have a lot of disengage with the Urel and the ETC, and should they pick up a very safe healer, they might be able to live through this. I mean, so far, Quaranteam, yeah, that's devastating. I hate looking at it. Like, I'm glad I'm not playing this game.
It's scary. I'm curious what their support will be, because what do you play against that much burst? Deckard doesn't do enough. Well, it's Deckard. I'm cast a curse immediately there. I don't think he does enough burst healing,
Welcome
but
to the
he
club.
does have enough zoning. So I guess that's the strategy here, where they're just going to try and protect and sleep. That's going to be the strategy to see if it works for him. As Quaranteam, final 2 picks, they need a support and an offlaner.
Hanzo coming out once again, and that Dragon Arrow has been so pivotal to the teams.
Oh.
Ooh, it's Uther solo healed. Why? Oh.
Okay, this draft got weird. So for starters, okay, let's break this down a little bit. Uther solo heal sucks, but
yeah,
he's good at one thing, and that's following up on stuns. And this build from Quaranteam isn't about sustain fights, it's about killing people fast. And that's what Uther can do, because his biggest issue is he runs out of mana and long cooldowns. If people are dead, you don't have to worry about cooldowns. So that's the idea behind the Uther solo support. CPogX Fanclub, though, the Arthas coming in last is the idea to try and give themselves that big stalwart, that extra frontline, and more importantly, attack speed slows for Greymane and for the Diablo to try, and Uther to slow him down and prevent value there. There's a lot of potential in this. My concern is Arthas into Malthael sucks.
You shut your mouth, sir. This is fantastic.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Everything is gonna go swimmingly. You want to know why you're wrong? Big Lich Boy does a dragon. That's why.
So you're predicting you're predicting Syndragosa?
I think it will be a Syndragosa. Now, hear me out. There are 4 melee competitors on the side of Quaranteam. That's really difficult to get into. One, because they have the Arthas who slows your movement and attack speed as you try to step up. And then also the Syndragosa can really shut down the dive and the retreat. The only one who has enough mobility to get out safely is going to be Li Ming. So I think that the Arthas was an incredibly clever pick here, especially as we get into later levels of the game with the root on the Frost presence or the frozen... Tempest, excuse me. I'm getting all my Arthas talents confused. And then the root on level 20 Sindragosa. Like, that's just going to keep them stuck for so long.
Oh, Frozen Tempest? Isn't that a talent that they stole the icon from May?
You want to throw hands? I'm going to see you in a month.
We're going to be seeing the startup here. And I do agree. I believe the Arthas is decent. And I also believe that I think you're right that we're going to see Sindragosa. I actually do believe this. Although I would kind of like to see Ghouls because Alphael and also Li Ming would actually be pretty decent against him. Against her, sorry. But I think Sindragosa would give them that snowball potential they might need for victory, and those slows, like you say, are going to be really, really good to keep people safe. It's putting a lot of pressure on Hanzo, which is why he's gone for Scatter Arrow build, because that's the only build with enough damage to actually kill multiple people at once. But I do believe this Arthas is solid. It's just going to have to be very, very well executed. Cookie Man, though, a lot of pressure on him suddenly. He has a lot of work to do.
Looking at this, we are going to see that Fear the Reaper instead of the On the Pale Horse that we typically see. Arthas Hanzo doing a really great job at just going ahead, clearing those camps out, trying to get strong lane pressure. Another thing that I'm kind of concerned about for Quaranteam's team comp is that they do one thing really well, and that's team fight. What's to stop the CPogX fan club with so many camps and so many ways to push on the map from just not fighting? They have to grab some of these tributes, but while those tributes aren't up, they can just kind of do whatever they want.
I do like that. The problem with that, I feel, is Greymane race. Because if CPogX decide to play around Quaranteam, then Quaranteam have one option, and it's split push, which their split push is faster. Well, outside of Malphale, of course. But on the other side, like you say, there is enough mercenary camp clear for CPogX that they can just avoid fights and they can choose their fights, and that is going to be the important bit here. You are correct. It is going. They just have to be careful of that one decision that Quaranteam can make, which is just we're just going to push your stuff. You don't want to fight us, then you have no defense.
Tempest Heroes coming into chat. Did somebody say that I'm frozen? First tribute of the game is going to spawn here. We're going to see Noah left to clear out these camp minions really quickly. Unaverted trying to get some damage onto the Tori. Carbon comes up to try and maybe help with that. Get a little bit of push on the towers. But Quaranteam in a really good, solid place to get set up for this first tribute.
This is going to be another Tormented Souls game, as we can, of course, see that Black Harvest. And, yep, that is so sensible here. You have three very beefy boys, so being able to pick up that percentage damage is going to be really good here. Chichuggy, though, he's getting bodied. Weary Day, he's stuck in there, trying to get those stuns out, which is exactly what he should be doing. Nintori drops low, but holds through with that level 1 as they pick up Chichuggy. Legacy, though, he's going to become the second kill of this game as Cookie Man dives into that backline, but it's traded for Greymane, and maybe Uther? No, Weary Day is able to escape, but fight is won there by CPogX fan club, but for how long? Not long enough, as in comes Cookie Man to pick up one more kill.
Made it to the potion.
Just like walking through a desert, seeing an oasis, crawling towards it to get a drink and dying right before the water's edge. Feels bad, as we do see level 7 hit for both teams, but we see already, and it's only going to get worse as the game goes on, the power of Malphale. Malphale into these three very beefy front lines is going to be a big problem.
Oh man, Cookie Man, why you gotta hate on my Bay like that? Raymond gonna go ahead, clear out this bottom camp, or this bottom minions here. This is gonna be a little bit harder for CPogX fan club, I think. It is a defensive tribute for the side of Quaranteam. We may see them not even head to this. And as I say that, they go ahead and get all set up around, scouting out to make sure that the team isn't going to be able to harass them. And then looking to get some damage onto Li Ming. They timed the root perfectly. However, ooh, they do get the kill.
They got the vision over the wall and got Filth able to pick up the kill. Noah focused down, though. He tanks it. The cocktail just short of landing. That's not the kind of drink he wants. He's only wants delicious, nutritious potions, thank you, as they move forward. But uh-oh, Cookie Man's here, but Cookie Man is getting stunned and bodied here. Here comes Weary Day for the attempted save, but Cookie Man is getting focused and blasted as BKB flanks.
Weary Day is going to be the next to go down. Fun fact, Uther is the only healer whose healing output increases after he dies. This tribute is secured nice and easy by CPogX Fan Club, who are going to go ahead and start ripping this boss with their 10,000 year wave clear. Chess will finish the immortal before he's done.
They do have Never Outmatched. This will speed them up quite a bit because, honestly, Got Filth is the only thing that matters in this game for CPogX Fan Club, because he's the only person who could really do anything outside of the little bit of burst that ETC has with Pinball Wizard. But they get the boss. Noah's going to port back to base. BKB is going to see this boss is being taken. There's no way they can evade here, but he's still going to be annoying and try and delay. It is ghouls, and that's still fine. I do still like ghouls. It does mean that Malthael's going to get a lot of sustain, but it also means Arthas will live these fights, which he has been struggling with.
Yeah, and like you said, it offers a lot of protection against the Li Ming orbs. It's something that will harass the Malthael as well. We're going to see the root come out here, followed up by the other root. However, nobody in position to follow. Team dealing with the boss in the bottom hand lane. Looks like they might just give this over. Arthas poking out for all he's worth. Gets hit by the team. Oh no, Noah doing what Arthas do best. He drops that Icebound Fortitude, best in the game.
Ghouls.
Out comes the ETC stage dive.
The ghouls come out, but they're being roasted here. Divine Shield onto Malthael. However, the Dragon Arrow lets them turn it.
Nice Dragon Arrow coming out. Urel using that hammer to try and knock everybody away. Carbon jumping in, trying to do as much damage as I can. Weary Day in the back, trying to get that tribute, but a nice face melt from ETC prevents that from happening. However, he is on the run now. Hanzo completing that quest. BKB so very low, does go down. Urel jumping in, just harassing Uther as much as they can. Hanzo picking up an easy kill onto there. Noah so low. The Icebound Fortitude activated once again. Just Chuggy is just going to go ahead, peel for their team. Out comes the Lornado, which does not hit Li Ming.
Oh, that's just sad.
So close.
That is sad to see. But while that was happening, Top Boss got top 4. Bot Boss did not. And that is going to be the tribute going over to Quaranteam, making it 2-1. But that is exactly how CPogX Fan Club should have played that. They're still ahead in experience, and more importantly, Godfilth didn't die, and that really shows the intent of their strategy here, because again, as long as he doesn't die, they can keep fighting. Everyone else is expendable here, because he's the damage dealer.
Everyone trying to play out of their mind here. They are able to pick up this bruiser camp. Just going to go ahead and hold on to it. ETC sees that their vision is being taken and then says, you know what? Have it. We don't even want that vision. 4 seconds left. It looks like Quaranteam might just give this tribute in favor of trying to clear out some of these lanes.
And that's sensible. They're a little behind in experience. If they did try to contest this, level 13 would hit partway through the fight, and it would hit during the fight, because they cannot end fights quick enough against this composition. So they do just let it go, and that brings us to 2-2. Next tribute will be Curse. This wave clear is beginning to come out for both teams. Let's have a look at stacks. As we do. Oh, hang on, never mind. Unverted going to be focused down. Dragon Arrow, but beautiful cleanse from Weary Day as we see the incredible Lightning Breath trying to turn it, but then Tori in the backline creating chaos and preventing a full fight.
You can see CPogX Fan Club are ready for this. They experienced it in game number 1, and you can't pull the steam trick twice on them as Chuggy gets so very low, caught in all those roots, slowed by the Arthas. Cookie Man also not long for this world. Diablo goes down, souls have been reset. Weary Day trying to do their best to harass the backline, but they're just in Uther. There's nothing he can do. Greymane is going to be the next to fall. He drops that Cursed Bullet trying to get some extra damage in there, but ultimately it's for naught. Cookie Man with no mana.
He will be able to mount up and get away.
This middle fort is going to be the prize for CPogX Fan Club here, as they're able to just push it down, no problem. And I see what you mean now. Their clear isn't amazing, but they're able to get it done. Meanwhile, Deckard is just going to safely collect that top tribute, and first curse of the game does go over to the Fan Club.
Now let's see what they can do with this, because again, they still don't have great race. All they have is mercenary cap clear speed and minion waves. They don't need to worry about the minion waves because it's a curse. Their structure clear Looks like their strategy is to let ETC proxy waves and then do nothing.
I mean, it's working out. Arthas in a little bit of trouble here, but here comes the team. Goals have to be popped. ETC jumps in, unstoppable onto Mouth L, but not long for this world. The Uther really isn't doing a whole lot for him there. It's super unfortunate. Diablo comes in. I stay, you guys go. Gives his life, does not have souls, will not come back. And now that's two really strong members down, two frontline members for Quaranteam. So this keep is in some big trouble.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get this before respawns come out. Diablo not back because he was desouled in the previous fight. And in this case, that is going to be the keep. No hesitation about going for core this time. The CPogX Fanclub decided nope, and are just going to pull all the way back. We just saw the newly nerfed Cursed Bullet coming out. That's brave. They decide against it. Just going to let that go because there's a boss to take.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that. And like, as somebody who's been on the end of multiple Cursed Bullets, I wouldn't mind if that was the case. Like ETC took a little bit of damage, but nothing Deckard couldn't heal up there. 5% really makes a big difference there. And one thing that I wanted to point out, glass cannon for Li Ming, just because there is no feasible way that anybody from CPogX Fanclub can jump on top of her.
That's fair. No one, that's a great point you bring up there. No one else can reach, so I guess they might as well just pick it. Very sensible, but Li Ming's damage output so far hasn't been enough. They have stage dive, because there's a lot of hovering. They may have to use Lordnado to secure this as they do focus it down. Got Filth, though. He's the important one here. He's gone. Boss is secured, but with no Hanzo, they cannot fight this.
This fight is over. Cookie Man coming in, gets slid, gets bullied. Out comes that Divine Shield. Yrel able to jump away with that Avenging Wrath. And I mean, they got almost exactly what they asked for. Hanzo died. But next tribute isn't going to be up for at least another 30 seconds. He'll be nice and back by that time. And actually, with no Hanzo, they're going to continue the fight. Cookie Man being harassed by Arthas. Out comes the root. Lornado is next to follow. Weary Day is so very low. Yrel having to drop the Ardent Defender, running it in as fast as they can. And they decide, you know what? Hanzo's not here. We don't have the damage. We're just going to go ahead and back up.
Now that there, they would have liked a kill there, but CPogX know their sustain is so high that they could take that fight even if they don't get kills. That wasn't an end game fight. That was a keep people busy while the boss hits the core, because they're going to get core damage out of that just because they caused a distraction.
CPogX Fanclub are playing this so very smart. I mean, as much as I have faith in the art, that's not going to lie. When it first came out, I was kind of like, that's a little bit of damage. But just the ability to sustain through everything, especially into... What happened? Did he see stage dive away?
Yep. he got hard engaged on and stage dived out because they ran out of stuns. Brilliant. This is why you always save one, dudes.
Yeah, well played. I was so caught up in the analysis that he just nopes away. He's not going to have this for the engage here. But as I was saying, the idea behind Quaranteam's team fight is they want to take a slow team fight or a quick team fight, pick somebody off, run away, get value elsewhere. They can't do this into this sustained team. Like, even if they want to leave, Arthas just says no.
Look at how far back Gotfilth is positioned. He ain't having any flanks. BKB, though, he's getting engaged on. Power slides out. The Lightning Breath is good. Lornado splits the team, and it looks like Cookie Man may get Legacy here. The root comes out. Legacy, he's still alive. He's finally gonna potion himself to survive one more time. Cookie Man is gonna go down instead, and with BKB looking for Weary Day, that means no more healing. Everyone else gonna retreat. The core is dying, by the way, and that's gonna be boss. That's gonna be potentially another keep. And like you said, this is being executed so brilliantly. They just can't make their way through. You called it at the start of the game. That armor reduction from level 13 on Arthas as well is giving them so much burst potential, and it's enabling this composition so well.
Always trust your Lich King. They know when to pick it. Really, really nicely done by CPogX Fanclub. Quaranteam is doing their best, trying to make it through, but oh my goodness, Carbon! Remember when we said they couldn't get on them? That was a lie.
Yeah, does that stage dive from across the map will do it. And we see Noah, though, in trouble. Lord Nado with the save, though. Legacy is a god this game. Noah is low, though. Legacy is in trouble, but Legacy just makes his way back in. They turn it round. They pick up the double. They can't kill anyone. They are invincible with Storm Shield taken by ETC at level 20. They turn it round. They get the full 5-man team wipe. And Quaranteam lies scattered across the battlefield as CPogX Fanclub take us to a final match point as we hit a 2-2 as they take Cursed Hollow.
I just have no words for how well this was played by both teams. I understand where Quaranteam was coming from. They had a really, really strong draft. And I was worried for CPogX Fan Club, but I think the Uther just wasn't enough there. They never had the opportunity to get on the mouth out. Really nicely done by CPogX Fan Club. Whenever mouth out went in, they focused the Uther super hard, causing the team fight to become split. And then mouth out just kind of died in the background. He'd get the Divine Shield, but that was after his ult had already been used, and as such, nobody would really die there.
I would love to see, like you mentioned the Uther, I would love to see stun time on this game summary screen, because that's the only way I could see the value being recovered there, because he got less than half the healing of Decade. To be fair, he was also dead 5 times as long, and that had a lot to do with just how well CPogX Fan Club played it, but you mentioned it perfectly. If they'd lived to level 20... they could have gone for the new Divine Shield that hits everyone, and that could have been their saving grace. The problem is, they don't have the heroes to live to level 20.
Yeah, the team, like I said, was good at one thing, but CPogX Fan Club was good at another thing, and that was living. So...
Yeah, I mean...
Wait.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, when you have a team where your job is to kill people and the other guy's job is to live, it can be really, really difficult.
Exactly,
I mean,
and even with that multiple melee, the sheer tactics, just the sheer BM, sorry, of ETC at the very end, picking Storm Shield, just to guarantee that they don't die even more, was really cool. And I do want to touch on one talent here, just to talk up something that Quaranteam did, because I thought it was really cool. I really liked Lightning Breath. As cool as APOC is, and how they might have hit people, the Lightning Breath killed ghouls a lot, and that allowed them to turn that back into their favor a couple times, but overall, like you said, they couldn't kill anyone.
Quaranteam trying their best here. They're doing so very well, and this final game will decide it for the evening. We're waiting to see where we go. It's a coin flip between, gosh, what's left? It's Sky Temple.
I can tell you. Let's have a look.
Let's have a look-see. You can look and tell me, because
yes.
I'm 30 seconds behind you.
It is Sky Temple or Volskaya Foundry, but what we can do...
those are both awful.
They're certainly fun maps to end on. As, ladies and gentlemen, what we do have, though, is a request for a 10-minute break from the teams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 10-minute timer on, and we're going to use that time as well. When we come back, it will be... What time is it now? It's 4:17, so I'll put one on for 4:26, my time. 26. When we come back, it will be the final game between CPogX Fan Club and Quaranteam. Do not go anywhere. I'm just going to leave you on the map. I'm going to leave you on the end screen, so do not go anywhere. We will be back shortly. They just need a break to bio, so don't go anywhere. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And we're getting ready to head into game number 5. A full series of Heroes of the Storm here in NGS Heroic Division. Feels good.
I am so excited. I was kind of hoping that we'd go to a game number 5, and we're finally here. Yeah. It's been a really, really incredible series. Both teams have done amazingly. We saw some really spicy drafts from CPogX Fanclub. We saw some amazing on-the-fly adjustments from Quaranteam. I can't think of two teams that deserve to be here more than these gentlemen or ladies, however they prefer, non-binary folks. It's been really incredible.
They've been putting on quite the show for us, bringing us to this final point. We have a lobby. The players are just getting ready to head into it, but let us tell you what the map is. We are going to be heading to Sky Temple, the final map chosen by CPogX Fanclub. And the interesting factor, every team that has chosen the map has won. And if that is the case, CPogX Fanclub are either going to keep a tradition alive and finally put map pick where it belongs as the top priority, or first pick will finally reclaim its rightful place as the more highly sought after target.
I mean, like you said earlier, if you're not playing the meta heroes, then it doesn't really matter what they first pick. They're like, oh, you guys want to take the ETC? Like, that's cool. We didn't want him anyway. We're gonna stitches.
Yeah, it makes sense. It works out in their favor. And we are just waiting for BKB. Apparently he is walking up the stairs. And then we will be ready to go. But you can see where we've made it to. Quaranteam took us first to Infernal Shrines, and were able to claim victory, despite an interesting, like you said, Stitches composition from CPogX Fanclub. Then, Quaranteam, given map choice again, took us to Towers of Doom. And despite an interesting Karazim ETC burst composition, they were still able to survive and turn it round. But then we head to the CPogX Fanclub map choices. The Chen dominance of Nintori on Dragonshire. And we just witnessed the very strong triple frontline Arthas composition of CPogX Fanclub to bring us to a game number 5.
So, one thing that we could consider, since we're on Sky Temple, and we saw that there could potentially be an affinity for it, do we choose?
I mean, the fact that they have that draft, and you can substitute a couple heroes in that and it will still work, the fact that they have that draft in their back pocket that can still drift into Juice Pirates is such an incredible tool in the back pocket of CPogX Fanclub, because that's always there now. That's always going to be in the back of your mind, that when Morales appears, you no longer have to be like, you no longer can, be like, okay, so we just pick Falstad and Zeratul, and that shuts down Juice Pirates, and we win. Now you've got to be like, wait, but it could be this. And that's an issue. That's scary. That's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, and if they don't choose, then you're stuck with Falstad, who, I'm sorry, but right now he is just atrocious. We saw it in our third game. It just felt awful to watch him go in, and then he's got like 12 hit points, so he was immediately bursted down once by Chen and once by Johanna, who by no means topped the damage chart. So
Falstad's good at a... Sorry, go on.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not saying anything important.
Falstad's good at a lot of things, and living against Burst isn't one of them. And just to expand on what you're saying there, he has value. And we saw it from Chris in like the cups in Europe earlier, but there's a lot of things he's not good at, and these drafts are definitely not Falstad conclusive drafts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you've got really big bursty heroes coming after him, like Johanna and Chen, like, how could he ever possibly survive?
I appreciate the memes, however... We are in a
He
situation.
can be a good hero. I mean, just the meta for North America right now is so dominated by heroes who can do a humongous amount of burst in a short amount of time. I mean, we saw again in that third game the Hanzo from Unaverted, I believe it was, where the Rainer was there and then he wasn't. And then in game number 4, where Li Ming just got suplexed by the enemy team at like 75% health.
It's
There's just really no place for like itsy bitsy baby semi mobile health bars.
That's true, and the fact is, a lot of the supports who counter that aren't good right now. Like, the supports that
Yeah.
counter heavy burst are mostly Uther, which is rough, Rhaegar, who just got really heavily nerfed, and he still requires a wind up, and
Hmm.
who else? I guess Brightwing, and even that is still a lot of pre-prep to do any kind of massive burst healing. To really, I guess the only one who really has like solid on tick burst healing is Anduin.
Well, maybe we'll get to see some Anduin as it looks like BKB has finally made it up the stairs. Sorry,
Yay!
everyone. They were saying he lives in New York and the elevator is broken. So that's a 25-minute walk. Uh, but going
Oh
back to
dear.
what you were saying, we could see some Anduin. He hasn't been played at all this series, and he's not a bad hero. He's very strong right now. Like a lot of teams are considering him to be in the top 4. Just having that cleanse as part of your base kit is really insane.
Yeah. Also, I missed Stukov for burst heroes because Biokill Switch is great. Okay, now we need a minute for the bathroom because Quaranteam because CPogX Fanclub weren't here.
Oh my
I've
goodness.
just pre-typed out casters are, and the second we get people back, I'm just gonna hit that, and hopefully they'll take it as we're good to go. Well, while we're here, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've been enjoying the show. Once again, I'm Tetcher. You can find me everywhere on @Tetcher because we're not on our main channels, which means we are earning no money for this, which means food is a thing we still need to find a way to afford. So you can find me on Tetcher. You can find Jinxeekatt on Jinxeekatt on Twitters and the Twitters and Twitches. Show some support to your casters, and of course show some support to NGS for putting on all this organization, all this wonderful leagues, and of course check out their tweets and probably the command in chat to have a look at the Storm League as it is already being prepared from NGS.
!storm in chat. You can donate to the prize pool. And seriously, guys, like I've worked with this isn't even just me saying it because I'm on their channel. I've worked with a lot of different folks who have put together amateur heroes of the storm, and I've never found a group who is as one open and accepting and kind, well put together. The matches start on time. The teams are nice. The mods are always friendly and helpful. I know, like 8 days a week, I'm like, yo, Smiley, I need this. Or like, I'm sending him something. I'm sure he's like so sick and tired of seeing my face pop up on his Discord. But they're really, really incredible people. And if you're here watching some Heroes of the Storm and you haven't looked at NGS, give it a try. Even if you don't have any friends to group up with, they have events all the time so you can find a team. And, you know, if you're just looking to hang out, the teams are wonderful. You can go cheer on some of your favorite players, support your friends. Like, seriously, there's no reason you shouldn't join NGS.
Absolutely. It really is just fantastic at the moment. And also, as something I completely forgot to mention here, currently the sign-ups for Storm League are open. They are open for people to sign up. So if you're interested in heading into that, then head to the NGS Discord, probably links below this stream, and you can get signed up and get involved. Also, thank you whoever followed me just then. I have alerts turned off, and I really don't know why that came through, even though the alerts are disabled. But thank you. I'm disabling them now, but thank you anyway.
Oh my gosh. So the funny thing about that is, you know, the other day when we both casted 2 different games at the same time,
Yes.
the alerts were still enabled on my
Oh
OBS.
no.
So Weenus and I were casting and you were getting follows and it was screaming and it scared us a couple of times before I was like, oh no, and I turned it off really quickly.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, enough about our alerts and, well, for starters, keep setting off our alerts. Drop those follows, drop those subs, support your streamers. Donations always appreciated, but we are into Sky Temple. For starters, finally Vikings are going to be the most sensible possible ban outside of Abatha, who will be the second ban almost certainly for Quarantine, unless they want it themselves.
They could pick it up here. Quaranteam is first pick, and this is one of Abathar's best maps. I mean, all the maps in the pool so far, save maybe like BOE, are really good Abathar maps. He makes your solo lane 2v1. We're going to see that Cassia come out once again, which makes a lot of sense. Again, and there's the Abathar. not a snowball's chance in heck that he gets through this game.
Not dealing with it. And there goes the Ana as well. We really have settled into a pattern of bans between these two teams. So very sensible to see them sticking with it. They know what they want to deal with and what they don't. ETC for Jachuggy, giving it a second chance here to try and lead them to victory.
We'll have to see what the tank is going to be from CPogX Fanclub, as they've shown really no affinity for Garrosh and have even banned it once, I think. We're going to see the Falstad, so, you know, hopefully no one wasn't listening to me talking crap. And that Urel, once again, and Tori has been so dominant in the lanes on that Urel. The mobility that she provides is just incredible, so it makes sense to pick her up nice and early.
Makes sense. Grabbing it, that control is also a lot of disruption for ETC. Now Quaranteam, they have the ETC. Now they need their assassins. Li Ming again? No. Hanzo, and they pick up Zeratul early this time. They're giving themselves that flexibility, and of course, Falstad, you mentioned it earlier, he's a big old squishy boy. So having Zeratul to try and pick him off, really cool idea. That's fair.
We're gonna see. Yeah. I was gonna say I was looking away to reply to a message, and then I was like, we're gonna see. Oh yeah, Li Ming. She's been dominating. Carbon is just an absolute god on the hero. So get her out of here.
So now with Zeratul on the board, what are you afraid of? With Falstad Urel, they take out Johanna. That's sensible. Johanna gives them that very solid hard engage stat that gives them that solid front line. BKB played it very, very well, but like you say, we haven't really seen Garrosh too much. It was very highly prioritized earlier, then sort of fell off a bit. Let's see where they go. They bring out a Nubarak. Don't want to play the Garrosh, so they go for a little bit of dive themselves, and Stukov as their assassin, someone who can give that burst healing to deal with Zeratul.
Now, normally I'm not a huge fan of a Nubarak because so far, aside the Urel, this team just kind of screams squishy and free from CPogX Fanclub. But I like the Cocoon and the Silent. It's kind of almost a build your own Entomb, especially with that root that Stukov can obtain at level 13. And it really shuts down any hero because anybody who's got an ability to dive out just gets negated by that silence.
Maiev returns for the second time, but on the other side. Now, Maiev plus Zeratul gives them a lot of melee burst to try and make their way through that squishy Falstad. And everyone's going to be wanting to group up for Stukov heals. Maiev and Zeratul benefit from that. This is very sensible as their last pickup. But here's how the counter comes out. CPogX Fanclub, they have a lot of zone control. Yes, they're going to be grouping up. How do they deal with it? They make it so that if Quarantine want to dive onto that position, it is miserable.
Yeah, Hammer, CPogX Fanclub just keeps surprising with these last picks where I'm like, okay, for sure, maybe we'll see, like, I don't know, a Greymane here or something. But the Hammer, like you said, it's going to make getting in on with such a heavy melee team really, really difficult. And then, of course, point control is just a breeze. Just fight underneath your Hammer, which I think is very strong, but can also be kind of counterintuitive if you have an Anubarak tank, because what does Anubarak do? He dives.
He really does, but the Hammer can follow. And honestly, sitting in siege mode is going to be really useful here. But Hammer can just unsiege and chase. And that is honestly a really good thing to do with Hammer. I'm curious to see if it works. There's a lot of crowd control which will set up for Hammer late game. Let's see if it works out. As ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sky Temple, the final map of Nexus Gaming Series Season 9 Heroic Division. And Jinxie, who's this on the right?
On the right-hand side, for the last time this evening and the season, we got Legacy on that Stukov, Tori on the Urel, Noah will be your Sergeant Hammer, BKB is your Anub Rack, and Got Filth is the Falstad.
And on the left, looking to prevent the reverse sweep, it is Quaranteam, with Carbon playing that Maev Weary Day on the Decade Kane. We have Jakchuggy playing on that ETC Unaverted on Hanzo, and we have Cookie Man on the Zeratul. Hammer starting with the ambush, level 1. There's the bribe for Falstad. So far, it's pretty normal talents. Power Slide comes out, but there's the silence to Chuggy. It's immediate danger. There's the body blocks. BKB gonna try and run it down, but they don't have enough damage yet. This will improve over time, but they don't have enough to finish off ETC, especially with that block party.
And this is what I'm worried about here, is that there isn't a whole lot of dive that CPogX Fanclub can threaten onto Deckard. Who's to stop him from just rooting the hammer while she's self-rooted herself, and then ETC to follow up. We'll have to see how the game progresses. But so far, I am very worried for Noah.
I'm a little concerned, but we'll see if it works out for them as BKB. Like you say, they need to turn this around. Noah for right now leaving, but BKB gonna pull away here. Gets tethered. Don't need to worry about it too much. So I'm worried for Noah, like you said. I completely agree with you here. I'm also worried for Noah just for this level 1 for Decade Kane field study, which means we might see Ruby, meaning Decade Kane might be using Hammer for free potions, which is also a lot of damage output here.
Yeah, we could go into the Scroll of Stone Curse later. That spell armor is going to be insane. And then it's just really going to be a struggle, I think. There is a little bit of dive to prevent Deckard from stepping up from a Nubarak, but then it comes into the case of a Nubarak has 2 hit points himself. So if he dives into your backline, then you just kill him.
It's level 4. Siege Tactics probably going to be coming out from Sergeant Hammer. Would not be surprised. Other talents, though, we're seeing Bed of Barbs coming in. Rip Maev as an invade on the camp. T-Tors, please. As they pick up the kill on Maev, steal their camp, and move up to top lane to push. And their Siege Tactics. Okay, I was a little worried when it didn't come out immediately.
Everyone's going to go ahead and try and step up, clear as best they can. We will have the temple spawning here in just a second. Maev is back for that. So, feels good there. They're going to go ahead, grab their own bruiser camp now. And Zeratul just kind of let it push. It does fall down now, but Zeratul not a master of sieging.
He has decent wave clear, but it's very high cooldown. What he's doing right now is the Zeratul wave clear technique. Run in, cleave, run out. And that's exactly what he needs to keep doing here. As we do see mid being held by Quaranteam and top being contested as Legacy is punching Cookie Man to death. He's going for it. There's the blink just in time to avoid that silence.
A lot of people forget that Stukov has one of the highest auto attack outputs of any hero in the game. It's incredibly slow. It's like 0.75 a second, but they also hit for like 300 at level 1, which is super insane.
Noah, he's gone a bit deep here. Silence comes out, but no siege, which means no siege tactics. And he bit off more than he could chew there. Nice engage. Cookie Man following up with Unaverted. Nicely played, and that's going to begin double channeling for Quaranteam. Carbon, he doesn't actually have the most sustain. He will be forced off here, but he's already got most of the shots.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. The team steps up. It looks like they might fight a little bit there, but like you said, they've got a pretty strong lead on this temple. They were able to grab the top temple. The Quaranteam is just going to go ahead, back out a little bit, try and heal up with those rubies, and then maybe look to re-engage here.
But here we go, we're level 7, and this is a big talent for CPogX Fanclub because Hover Siege is available. There's the siege tactics, Legacy gets pulled in, and Cookie Man does what Zeratul does best, picks up the kill. Noah is desperately trying to weaken people, but everyone's very split, meaning he's losing value and is forced to back up. Very nicely played by Cookie Man, able to pick up that kill, and they get those final shots. You can see the front walls non-existent, barely alive, but still here. As Noah forced to back away as this camp is stolen. Quaranteam playing very aggressively.
It's really easy to do, like we said. Their team comp is based around killing people, and there's not a lot of really supportive front line. You're all going to get a ton of damage here on this top fort. Gonna go ahead, back away, leave Zeratul to clean, which once again, he's not so good at. Gonna lose about 2/3 of the keep there. Or 4, excuse me.
4 weakened down. Boss being scouted, and also Maev waiting to see if she can pick up any traps and kills. Hammer just sieging, blasting away, going to be taking those out pretty quickly here. And the aggression still continuously coming out. Oh, this looks familiar. By Falstad. Can she escape? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Cookie Man saw it. He's going to make his way forward. Gets the auto attack.
Oh, the knockback is there, and
the speed.
She lives!
The speed from Hand of Freedom for the save there. Gonna be able to get out of there. Nice little escape. Noah put some mines down to try and stop ETC making his way in. And right now, Quaranteam 3 kills to 1. They're continuing to put on the pressure here.
And then once again, Noah is going to be caught by that scroll of ceiling right there. And if I'm Deckard, like, this is made in the shade for me. Don't even have to burn the mana of using a Herodric cube there. Now the level 10s are online, maybe we can see some change from CPogX Fanclub. They do have the Gust to provide a little bit more disengage for Sergeant Hammer should anyone jump on top of her. BKB.
Unintentional free stun.
Trying to take the honorable 1v2. Here comes Felt, and the rest of the team is here. They're looking at Chuggy. Are they going to be able to pick him up? No, they're just going to back away.
They let it go as we see the zoning. Noah, he creeping, and now he's stealthing. As Yorel finds unaverted, but they can't really get onto him, so they're just going to have to let that go. With both teams at level 10, the play is going to attempt to be made. Here comes Stage Dive again coming in here. Carbon sneaking away with the blink. There's the Gust, though, and Zeratul is eaten. Weary Day focused down. He gets the slow onto him. Nice knockback into the silence, and CPogX Fanclub are going to play for boss because they just opened this game wide up.
And just like we were saying, level 10 is online, and they had a lot more to contribute here with that Gust Cocoon combo. It feels really bad. The nice, easy pickup onto Zeratul right away also helped them, because instead of turning it into a 1v5, they turned it into a, I mean, it started off as a 4v5, and by the end of it, it was 3v5, and there wasn't a whole lot they can do. Gotta grab this boss. It is only an 8-minute boss, so probably won't get a ton of value, but Yorel getting that bottom point. Boss is going to head bottom as well. That's a dead bottom for it, I think, Tetcher.
Yeah, it's one punch? Nope, 2 punch. 1 punch and a body slam.
1 punch boss.
1 punch boss, as they will begin to clean that up. It won't get too much value on bottom lane, but top lane was really their only reply, their only counter to that, and they got some damage out of it, but ETC could not contest with Falstad, so he has to let that go. And he will make his way back up to keep soaking and try and keep his fort alive, but that's looking pretty rough. That might just die.
That is very, very low there, and Falstad able to use that barrel roll, get away from ETC. Looks like a little bit of a brawl is happening down here in the mid lane. Noah having to use those thrusters to get to safety. And Quaranteam, they took a hit, but they're definitely not out. They're looking for these engages, trying to capitalize where they see best. And I think CPogX Fanclub is a little bit scared right now, Tetcher.
Again, they're trying to wait for their opportunity to fight again. Siege tactics used, but very early. Carbon, they're going to be fully retreat, though. Here comes the big BFG, and Got Filth burns the Gust and dies to the stage dive as Chuggy jumps in here. And that was rough. Nice play by Unaverted. Really a good flank here as the Cocoon comes out hitting ETC, but they just killed that Cocoon with one scatter arrow. Nicely done. Unaverted is keeping his team in this game.
Yeah, they're doing so well there, and we managed to grab the Falstad once again. He's got no health, so he just kind of goes down. ETC stuck in the silence, can only walk away. Sergeant Hammer able to finish the job. Out comes the Warden's Cage with Void Prison, though. Urel having to burn her ultimate there. Someone was sent to Africa by Stukov. Noah very low. Cookie Man going in, able to clean it up. That is going to be 3 for 2 in favor of Quaranteam.
Filth gets blasted by Unaverted with that scatter arrow, and they make it a 4 for 2. Nicely done. Even the massive shove couldn't stop Carbon from coming back in and cleaning house. And again, Hanzo, the unexpected hero of Heroic Division so far, is picking up kills after kill. And he is doing a good job here, as we saw Quaranteam able to take that fight. They begin focusing down, grabbing their own objective. Weary Day will tank through this for now. See Rel just soaking experience. It's a race to level 16 now.
We'll have to see what Quaranteam can do with this, because they're suffering from what most team comps suffer from when your job is to kill an enemy team. And that's the fact, is that they've got a ton of kills, but they're not really pushing the buildings. ETC gonna go down here. Nice quick pickup by CPogX Fanclub. And when we look at the map, it's actually turning into a full-on team fight. Cookie Man having to dive out there. Notori jumping back in onto Unaverted. Takes a little bit of health. Drops the Sonic Arrow to see where everybody is going to be. But as I was saying, the buildings have been opened wide up for CPogX Fanclub. They were able to grab top, able to grab bottom. I mean, I guess they're even in buildings now, but the push power from the fan club is unreal.
Scatter arrow attempted to be used to kill Hammer, but Hammer just blasts down Hanzo as they try to turn it around. Sleep comes out. There's Gus, though, right into the Warden's Cage. Noah, he boosts away for freedom. He's tranking through this beautifully. Amazing play by Gotfilth, showing the value of Falstad. Everyone else has perished. Chuggy, the only person alive in full retreat. And the saving play, that was a little scary for a second, but the turnaround onto Hanzo by Noah, able to pick up the kill, and now they're looking for their first keep.
This is exactly what I was just saying, Tetcher. We go in, and there have been some really great team fights, but the Hammer is just atrocious for building. She's coming in, doing what she does best, and the keep's already at 50% health. Hanzo stuck in the web, in a little bit of a pickle. Going to be able to get away really easily, though. But here comes the Dragon Arrow. BKB using that Unstoppable does eventually go down in the end, and now Legacy is the next target. The Keep survives.
They focused on Hanzo too much. They let the Keep live for the greed of the Shimada. As Cookie Man uses his speed boost coming in from his Seeker in the Dark to try and chase them down. Doesn't get it. Noah is sieged up, though. Little bits of damage, but he can't take that fight. Not without a Nubrek. They let it go. This was all just distraction play while Falstad grabs another Merc Cap.
I was looking at the mini-map a second there while the teams were chasing. And I thought maybe the wave could take it down, but it looked like we only got a couple of minion autos before they were cleaned out by the wave itself. Having that catapult there really paying work. And now Bosso has been picked up by Quaranteam. Do we get to see them make something happen with this? They're not going to push, so it won't be nearly as effective as the 2 Siege Giants we saw earlier from CPogX Fanclub.
They're just going to grab their own Bruiser Camp because that's all that's really left on the map for them to do. Top lane is pushed up. They're going to de-push that, grab a Bruiser Camp in it, and Urel will get some experience in the bottom lane, while Zeratul keeps mid lane pushed up. He has to back up, though, but he's done his job. He's one of the few heroes who could actually push, split push, at least with a modicum of safely on this team. So he will just do that and back away, keeps his team safe, keeps the pressure on, and keeps experience for his team to try and catch them up. They're still just under a level behind here, and with 19 about to be hit, level 20 is going to be around the corner for CPogX Fanclub, still quite a bit before Quaranteam at this rate.
Yeah, they are doing work. That passive XP from pushing down all those buildings is really turning out well for them. We're going to see this bottom temple activate just now, see if they can't maybe get it done. And this is what Quaranteam needs. They don't have very good pushing power, so they need to win these objectives if they have any hope of winning this game.
There is no reason for CPogX Fan Club to fight for now, though. They're just going to back away. They have Falstad split pushing with Global in the top lane. They have Urel safely soaking experience with Hand of Freedom to get out of danger just in case. All they're doing right now is looking for 20. And with that a full level away for Quaranteam, this is the chance for them to get it. They're running out of minions to get it from, though. They finally have some in this bot lane, and they're going to use this opportunity. You can see Carbon, he knows the danger. He backs away. Because now, with level 20 online, this is the chance for CPogX Fan Club to try and do something, and they're looking for a fight. That's why they took so long to move on to the point, but they're not going to get it. Exactly the same for Quaranteam. They now have no reason to fight. They can't afford to risk a fight, so they just have ETC split pushing.
So starting from draft, I kind of thought that like CPogX Fan Club was maybe being a little bit silly here. I thought their comp was kind of weird. And the fact that they were dying so much, I was like, okay, this is quite easily a Quaranteam map. But the more that it goes on and the more I'm seeing from the fan club, like this is actually super sleeper OP, and they have quietly been in control of this game the entire time. They're grabbing the camps, the fort or the keep finally went down in the top lane, and now, I mean, they could just play the map for the rest of the game and win. It's up to Quaranteam to make a play to get themselves back in this game. CPogX Fan Club has no reason to push any buttons.
And there's the level 20 coming in. We have upgraded stage dive with crowd pleaser. Perfect gems for just Ruby, and honestly, it's a good talent. Don't blame him. We have the Shadow Mending. This is what makes Zeratul really quite good. And on CPogX Fan Club, pretty standard stuff across the board. Wind, Tunnel, Seraphim, Ultra Capacitors. No unlimited BFG. It's not very good anymore. No point in picking it on this map especially. Rewind, very sensible for a noob. Hanzo, yet to pick. He could quick pick Bullseye for a burst or play of the game if it's required. I like the fact he's waiting here.
Have to see with these 20s online what Quaranteam can do to get back into this game, because once again, right now, Beetle's coming in super clutch. This top keep is under effect, and now that everybody's hearth back, CPogX Fan Club just says, bye guys, like, good to see you, and they just head out. They're just dragging the team across the map, and I can only imagine how frustrated Quaranteam must be right now.
But here's the objective. Here's the opportunity for Quaranteam to try and make a play. They can now try and force a fight at level 20. Hanzo still not waiting on his level 20. We'll see that pop up when it is picked as mercenaries being grabbed for CPogX Fan Club because it comes off cooldown just before the objective. Perfect timing for them. Urel finds Cookie Man, prevents him from setting up, and Noah already sieging. With that hover siege, creeps forward, looks for the chance to give that big burst on that first ambush, and it gets it onto Zeratul. That's going to force him back a bit. Play of the game is picked up by Hanzo.
A lot of humongous damage coming out onto Cookie Man right there. However, once again, we've seen Quaranteam has the better team fight as both teams are contesting over this Cookie Man. Once again, takes a ton of damage. ETC in the cocoon. We still have Gust available. It is used right there, and it is going to be the wind tunnel. Two heroes not able to do anything. Out comes the Nubarak charge. Carbon fleeing for their life, dropping the Warden's Cage for safety. And that was everybody pressing R and nobody dying. However, CPogX Fan Club coming out on top with that camp being picked up. Unverted. Wow, how did he get there? Why is he on that side of the map?
So he dragon arrowed from here to try and pick up a kill and try and get a burst. Missed, but then he got engaged on by Urel, so he had to play of the game to teleport over here to live, and he escaped using it. As we do see the shots stolen away, final few shots from CPogX Fan Club. A second keep was taken during all of this, and with one altar left, well, top lane doesn't even matter. Top keeps going down, which is why we're seeing Quaranteam play so aggressive. They need to look for kills.
Gotta do something right here, right now, because there is a massive amount of pressure coming in on that core. Like you said, oh my goodness, 4 catapults, a siege camp And CPogX Fan Club just aren't letting them leave. ETC is coming in. The core is taking so much damage. Wind Tunnel coming out. There are 2 members in the Void Prison. Cookie Man trying to get on top of him. Noah able to be healed up by that biotic kill switch. And the shield is just crumbling. Then Tori will not let them leave. There are so many minions on the core. It's losing 50% health. Zeratul has finally made his way back. Is it going to be enough? 36%, 33%. And we're seeing a recreation of game number 1. They sustain, but only 30% on the core, and that's a lot of siege damage on the yellow team.
This is the end play. This is the only thing that can save them now because they have to stop the shot. It's too late. The final shot and the Yorel autos coming in. The end game play, and CPogX Fan Club full out the checkmate. And they are our NGS Heroic Division champions. Wow.
What an absolutely amazing game. It was so close. We look here at the scrims, 9-11. It could have gone either way. And I'm just so very blown away by CPogX Fan Club. I mean, there used to be a saying in HGC, I think Wubby said, if you make the meta, then you're just the best team. And that's exactly what they're doing here. None of the comps that came out from CPogX Fan Club were really, okay, well, we'll pick Johanna, and then we'll get an Ana, and a Li Ming, and a Greyming, and a Leoric, and we'll do so good. Like that's what we usually expect. It's what you see in your Storm League games, but just the ingenuity and the craftsmanship of CPogX Fan Club. I honestly have no words. I mean, don't get me wrong. Quaranteam played an absolutely amazing game, and they were so quick on their feet. They were so incredibly smart at how they worked around these comps. But just so many times I was like, what is CPogX Fan Club doing? And then I was like, they're winning the game. That's what they're doing.
They outmetted us as the casters. Here is your bracket, ladies and gentlemen. The final victory in a 3-2. Congratulations to Quaranteam for getting so far, for taking out the #1 seed, and being the first and only team in the playoffs to take a map off of CPogX Fan Club, let alone taking them to the brink of defeat. But CPogX Fan Club, from #2 seed, pull out some ingenuity, they pull out some incredible synergy and some great compositions, and they claim victory. Let's have a look at some of these talents while I see if I can sort out if we're able to get an interview.
Take a look then. If you want to talk to them, I can take a look at the talents for you. So, like we said, once again, Ultra Capacitors coming out for that hammer there. Makes a lot of sense. Did a ton of work in that last team fight. The Anuba Rack, I was really blown away. I didn't think that they were going to be able to defend their team very well, but I mean, they did a heck of a job engaging. And then once again, the Gust, the Cocoon, separating the team really well there. It worked so well. We have the pretty standard heroics coming, or not heroics. Yes, I know. We're very excited as my dog's celebrating the fact that CPogX Fan Club are going to be our winners. I'm going to make them go away. Interesting pick here from Deckard. Heraldric Staff with that 0.75 stun there. I guess that was to make sure that people like Anuba Rack didn't get on the on him too much, but in the end just wasn't enough.
Alrighty, we have an interview. It is going to be in lobby 1. So I'm going to quickly I'm going to turn off your camera because I've already jumped off, and I will see you in there.
Alrighty.
See you there. Alrighty, let's jump into this interview. And hello, everybody.
Hello.
So we have the entirety, I believe, of
Whole squad.
He's having trouble navigating Discord right now, but he'll figure it out.
Oh no.
Alrighty, I have to adjust some volumes. So, Jinxie, if you want to begin the interview, I will adjust volumes to make sure everyone's in line.
Okay, yeah. Well, first, I just want to say congratulations and well done. First and foremost, I think the thing that's on everybody's mind, let's talk about your drafts. Hello, BKB. Welcome to the interview. So the drafts. I don't think any of us have ever seen anything like this. Are these things that you guys practice in scrims? Or these super sleeper picks you play in Storm League? Tell me a little bit about how you came to the conclusion of these team comps.
So like, I mean, we just draft heroes that make sense. Anybody who tells you like this hero is meta, this is what you do. There's no set any rotation that's correct. You just gotta draft what makes sense for you and what makes sense for like against what they have. So our drafts just make a lot of sense logically, but whenever you look at the way they turn out as compared to if you watch some of the other top teams, they're not gonna make as much. Like you're gonna say, okay, why aren't they picking Tassadar? Why aren't they picking these other OP heroes? It's because that they just don't make sense in that position, even if they are so strong.
Right, I can definitely understand
He
that.
hates meta picks. He wants to pick
That's true.
every game.
I mean, like, it worked. There were so many times I'm just like, what are they doing? And I saw CPogX was like losing his mind at me. Like, stop talking about the team like that. And then like 10 minutes later, I was like, okay, you're right. Fair enough. So jumping back to the first game, you guys had a really spicy kidnap comp there. What I'm really curious about is how come the solo damage Hanzo?
Go on.
I mean, a lot of like,
I thought there was a
throughout-
question that was going to follow that. I didn't know that was
Sorry,
just.
I was curious about the Hanzo because a lot of times when you see a solo damage team, you see like a Greyman was taken away, of course, but like a Vala or somebody who was considered to do more damage. Why did you guys pick the Hanzo there opposed to another assassin?
Especially with auto attack build as opposed to something like Scatter Arrow.
So I'm the offlane player.
Can't hit scatters.
That's just kind of how it worked out, unfortunately.
Okay.
So that was my first Hanzo game in probably a few months.
All right. Definitely.
So
We'd also played
Sorry, after
0
you.
games of Stitches Medivh up until this point, but Medivh got buffed, or Stitches got buffed rather, so we wanted to send it.
That's fair.
Yo,
How was
it
that?
doesn't do anything. No, it doesn't do anything. Like you literally have to hook and just like try to kill someone. And mid-late game, Stitches always falls off. I don't know. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like
We also thought on shrines with the damage to monsters buff that he might be insane, but it's not enough.
It's never about that because whoever has the position, like position control of the shrine, they're just gonna get it regardless of hero ability to kill this, take the minions or whatever, So it's all about position and actually taking control. So I think if we had something else instead of Stitches, we'll be completely fine. But yeah, we suck on Infernal anyway, so it is what it is.
So to expand on that a little bit.
Sorry, go ahead.
To expand on that a little bit, was the plan at the end to hungry for more and then play of the game Hanzo and portal everyone else in? Was that the plan in like that fight by the
No, there's no plan. Literally no plan.
At least you guys are willing to admit it.
Warm up game.
There's a free
The
PX trade.
the 3 games we won, those actually we had planned. Some sort of plan.
So that implies game number 2 there was also no plan?
Well, no.
Game 2 there was a plan, but the best laid plans sometimes don't work.
Right.
We threw really hard.
Yeah,
and
that was
we were
a
all
good
set.
draft.
We also were up like, I don't know, 15,
Yeah.
20 shots at one point and just kind of collapsed in the late game on...
Second game was cool. We was winning that. We just threw it. And we outdrafted them on the second game.
The Rainer in the second game was like a really big problem. At least I felt that way. For like, Tracer couldn't get in as much later. But like early game, she was able to like get a bunch of picks.
Yeah, I think the problem there was they were just like always allowed to trade a kill. Like we often got a kill with our initial engage, but like they always traded one back. And if you're trading kills with Li Ming, you're not winning.
That's fair. Like, there was a lot of times where you guys got very close to blowing up Arena, but he escaped a lot of times. But even though you were able to get an insane amount of kills in the early stage, but it sort of fell apart late game, is that how it felt for you guys?
Yeah, a bit. I think it just we had a couple deaths that probably didn't need to happen. Kind of just like snowballed from there.
Right. Uh, so game number 3, my question is to you, BKB, because I have been complaining about this. I don't know if any of you have like seen any of my Reddit or Twitter posts, but like the Johanna nerfs. How did it feel playing Johanna with that additional 5-second timer on the iron skin? Were you
I'm
struggling at all?
No, there's no difference. You just have to use the D ability just smarter. But anyway, I don't play this game, so I played really bad in Joanna. Like I still had a D up when they bursted me on the bottom lane. I mean they didn't
Mm,
burst me, but they changed CC. If I just pop the D button, we win the fight. But it is what it is. But
right. Okay.
regardless, she's the same. Like if the only change is you know the shield, then it's whatever. Like you just have to use it less often and be more cautious. She's still strong because she does her job. She has CC and wave clear. Like Stitches doesn't have CC, so yeah, Stitches is strat.
Okay, so I'm just hearing that I'm terrible. Got it. Sounds good. Moving on. Game number 3. No, I know you're not saying that. I'm gold. I accept it. Also, like one thing I want to commend, Nitora, you had a really sick save there, and I mean part of that was also, your wonderful healer keeping you alive. But that Chen escape in the mid lane, like me and Tetcher were losing our minds.
Yeah, my comms were okay. I'm gonna bait out the monster, and then you're just gonna heal me, and I'm gonna live. So
He didn't even heal you. He just dropped a safeguard and you rolled away.
yeah. So no, I had no idea they were in that bush, but it worked out.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure he said, I'm dead at least 3 times while he was barreling.
So let's talk about that draft. So you say you had a plan going into that game. You had what looked like a sort of less optimal Juice Pirates. Was this intentional? Were you just trying to give yourselves the option, or were you always going to go into this type of draft? Talk me through that particular composition, because it was definitely interesting in a creative drafting order.
So I actually want to clear this up real quick. Every time that Morales is in the game, this is not exclusive to you guys, but every caster just immediately thinks Juice Pirates, but
It helped you had a grey
Morales
main
is just
Reyna.
like,
To be fair, like a lot of people don't play Morales in like normal
Yeah.
comps, so
So-
like
No one
it
plays
is like
Morales,
a
full stop.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Morales Rayner is the best 2v2 in the game, I think. It just destroys like anything they put bottom, and so it's a really big power point for you on the map. So like you would see that we were winning, or at least going even, like
No,
2v3s, 2v4s. Like we're eating all this pressure, and then our mid lane gets to just do whatever they want. Like
yeah, we won
got
all the line. We won all the lanes. Like Chen won
You
top,
did?
you won bottom, yeah, and yeah, we had two middle and the middle heroes that can just rotate either top or bottom, so it doesn't matter. So yeah,
This is actually a
old draft.
style of comp that we ran
Yeah,
back in like the Div S period, like a year or 2 ago, whenever that was.
Fair enough. No, that's super cool. I was just curious whether it was
simple.
like a sneaking, like, because Quaranteam reacted like it was Juice Pirates. Like the Falstad Zeratul is a very solid Juice Pirates counter. So I was curious whether it was a purposeful bait, but you bring up an excellent point that it worked really, really well just on its own.
Yeah, like you have strong solo lanes, and then you have two heroes in middle clearing a wave and doing whatever they want. And Chen wins solo lane, and the 2v2, it doesn't matter who they play against, they're gonna win. With Rainer and Morales. So we win all the lanes, we pressure them, and as long as we don't, throw the game and we just keep the composure, it should be an easy win.
I also told him that I wanted to play all the buffed heroes, so we tried to get them all.
I
except
was
we
We
didn't-
were
wondering.
talking
we didn't
about
get
that.
The Karazims was like, huh. And is it, for starters, just quickly, is Karazim good?
Situationally.
Okay, so it's same as
So-
before, basically.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It didn't feel like it's that big of a change. I mean, yeah, a little bit of healing nice, but I think like a cooldown buff would be better than a heal
I'd
outburst
definitely like that.
buff. But yeah, I mean, I think he's playable with like dive comps, or we tried to pick it there to be able to dive with the tracer, as well as having cleanse for Zool on 16 like multiple times, and having Palm to stop leaming resets. I just didn't hit him all the time.
Alrighty, let's talk about game number 4. We've dwelled on game number 3 for quite a while. But game number
This is
4,
my favorite draft from you guys.
well,
but I might be
take it
biased.
over, all yours.
Alrighty. So, first and foremost, you know me, Arthas. I what I guess the biggest question, which is kind of like a no doubt, but I just want to confirm. Their team comp was to kill people. Did you guys just draft to survive?
I mean, yeah, Arthas is just he's Arthas. You know, I'm pretty sure my comms in at least 3 of the team fights were, I'm Arthas. They're not allowed to do this. And just run at them.
I'm
Plus,
so glad to hear that like somebody else responds like that when they play Arthas. Like, just cause I do the same thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm just very excited. I love Arthas.
You're good. Gottfilth played like an amazing Hanzo that game. Like, there's a lot of pressure on him as solo damage Hanzo to like make plays, and like the kill targets that he's on have to be the ones that die. And he did really, really well about that game. And he was smart with where he moved his damage around the map, so he really popped off that game.
Yeah, I think the big worry in that draft, which I said like at the beginning of the game, was like if he does go tormented, like we can't kill him, especially with D shield. So it's like we just have to be able to like back up and survive. But the whole thing is he doesn't have last rights, so like our front line's extremely tanky, and if they're able to live that initial burst, then we just hard win the fight.
Right, and I saw in a lot of the team fights that whenever he popped the last or the tormented souls, you guys would rotate away from him and then start focusing onto Uther. Was that to prevent him from getting the divine shield on him, or were you just trying to find value elsewhere while you were waiting out that ultimate?
He was in though. Like we went for him because he was trying to kill himself, and we just killed him, and we two fights we went out. I mean that's what I do. Like with Uther, you
Right.
know, they think like they need to die, but not really. But yeah, like at some point, like yeah, if he's in, you know, already inside the team, we just rather kill him and then go from there on, you know. But yeah.
Makes sense. Well, you guys did really well, and I think that was a lot of our viewers' favorite game, just because you just kind of ran it down with your thick bodies.
Yeah.
Also, they were like super melee heavy, so Arthas is insane value, but
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
not only that, but Ruby gets insane value when they have 4
Right.
melees
Oh, yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
slowed.
Alright, well, that brings us to game number 5, final game. Sergeant Hammer into, like you already mentioned, the Ruby Deckard Kane, but he seemed to only be able to hit singular targets. Talk us through that game, because there was a lot of focus on macro that game, wasn't there?
Pretty much only.
Sky Temple go. Brrr.
Yeah. You have to shoot those beams on the buildings and you're good. You win the game eventually. But now, like, yeah, the same. I think we just outdrafted them. Um, yeah. Um, just play map. We was like almost half a level ahead, and from there on we could just abuse the globals or move around better. And yeah, I mean with Hammer basically they cannot go in. They have to literally force in to go in, and or he has to be out of position. So if we have like a if we have a decent position, we can take control over the shrines. I think it was like 2 good examples during the game. One was around the end, I think, that we took a position, and yeah, they were getting low, and it's just yeah, macro and control the shrines. That's it.
It worked out. Like I
Ah, you
saw
guys.
Gottfilth got like 3 flying gusts into
sick.
almost full team wipes throughout that game. It was absolutely
Sick.
insane to see.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I'm good at on that hero is Gus. I'm not really good at the other parts of him, but Gus is
That's
the only
all that
part that matters. Yeah.
All that
Yeah, the
matters.
auto attacks are really hard for him to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know how to press A.
Too many
I haven't
buttons.
figured it out yet.
That's why W.
Yeah, that game was. I mean, that game was tense at all points. As Sergeant Hammer, I can't really do much to impact that game. I just kind of post up and right-click people. So,
Right.
I mean, my team did a really good job. They definitely carried me that game. Like, I just, shot the buildings and shot the heroes they told me to. Um, you know, it was just a really good game, that last one for sure.
You guys did a really great job, though. I am a little bit salty that you got Filth because, like, 30 seconds before you locked the fall stat, I was talking about how terrible he is, how squishy he is, how he doesn't get anything done on the map, and then you picked him, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm the idiot, and then you won, and I was like, well.
I think
Well,
like the main reason you pick
see-
false set is for Gus, though. Is
Yeah,
like,
it's
Gus
like
is just really strong.
especially on Sky Temple, just for boss point, having Gust is insane value, and then also like they picked another like Zero Tool like potential Wombo VP comp, so having Gust disengage is really nice.
They
You guys-
they could have, if they played the fights or the comp better. We could have been struggling a lot more because they had those heroes. But like if we, like I said, if we get a position and we're like not doing some stupid shit, then we're fine. And we didn't kind of. So.
The hammer was also like 3 seconds left in draft. We were hovering Rainer, and
Yeah.
last second audible of like, wait, doesn't hammer just win here? So it was a nice like last second audible.
Yeah, for those, that's a little bit of an insight into our comms, by the way. What BKB just said, he's just a lot of his comms are just, yo, don't do something stupid right now, please. And
And the funny part is that I'm the one who ends up doing the stupid thing.
well, yeah, you're so worried about us hinting that you forget that you might be able to feed as well.
Classic. You already know.
Joy of a tank. Alrighty, well, I think that is it from us. So, oh wait, I have one question before I throw it over to you guys. Have you, by any chance, been looking into the NGS Storm division?
We have, yeah. We were talking with a few of the like admins, kind of when it was released and everything. So, I mean, nothing is set or finalized. I don't even know if they have like dates or whatever yet. Maybe they
First,
do.
the
I
sign
haven't- I
first
haven't
sign
looked
up
at the
opened
updates yet.
today.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, I got
we-
us signed up. We're good.
we were we were focused on like this, and then obviously figure all that out after.
A lot of teams trying to poach Gotfilth too, though.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
crazy actually.
I think it's been like 5 different people that have reached out to him.
I think
but-
one of the people who has tried to be poaching him might be out of the picture though, so we might not have to worry about him anymore.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Oh, was that our friend at the beginning of the stream?
Oh.
No, that was a different guy. There was,
Oh,
yeah.
for
alrighty.
sure.
Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on winning the Nexus Gaming Series Heroic Division. And the floor is yours. Any thanks, any Season 10 call-outs you want to do? The floor is yours.
Should I go
Shout
first
out
or
to High
last?
too.
Wait, can we have our coach / mascot give a shout out first?
Of course.
Yeah, CPogX here. Great work by the fan club today. They're an inspiration. I just got one shout out. Twitch.tv/FreePX post-game party.
Let's get it.
I guess I'll start if we want to get on the list for the other
Yeah, we
people.
can go top now.
Just thanks to you guys. It's always fun getting casted, and I think we were able to put on a good show. So happy that happened. Definitely a shout out to Quaranteam. I think most of us are all friends with a lot of the people on that team. They played a really good series. Like either team could have won it. So shout out to them. And then I guess I'll just say you're welcome to everyone in the NGS Discord that now gets a FreePX shirtless logo that they can use. And then twitch.tv/3px, of course. Thanks, guys.
All right, Phil, do you want to go?
Oh yeah, sure. I guess I'll shout out my homies in here. It was a lot of fun playing this NGS season with them, and shout out to you guys for casting, and shout out to twitch.tv/3px.
Shout out to Noah for not getting tilted once this series, making sure we all had a clear head, staying on top of the drafts. Really, really excellent. And yeah, twitch.tv/3px.
Yeah, thank you for the compliments, Centauri. I'm gonna shout out a couple people. I'm gonna shout out Jinxeekatt. He played an amazing game. Like that was some of the greatest like tank on tank that you're gonna see in Heroes of the Storm right now. Like I mean, BKB and Jinxeekatt are insane, both of them. And then shout out to CTV not being in this thing. That way, people actually play Sky Temple. All right, BKB, you got anything?
Yeah, shout out once again to Haichu. Shout out to plantain chips with garlic. Shout out to Twitch TV, the /3px. And yeah, of course you guys and the game itself. It's always so much fun. Like once again, I wish this was the old times where the game was a little bit more alive. But yeah, it's always so much fun. Thank you for hosting and all that. So yeah.
Alrighty.
All
Well, once
right,
again,
well,
guys, congratulations. Me and Jinxie are gonna head back to close out the show, and we hope to see you in either Storm Division or Season 10.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
It's
GG's.
good,
thank
sir.
you.
Have a good night.
Much
Thank
love,
you.
guys.
CPogX out.
Alrighty, I need to recall Jinxie and Boosh. Spinning
There we
squares.
go.
And there she is. So, Boosh, back to the right screen. And reactivate the Jinxie. There she is. Alrighty, so, everybody, thank you very much for watching. That is it for us. We had one series today, and we hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time, because we certainly did. It is 5:28 a.m. where I am, so stayed up quite late for it. Jinxie, thank you so much for casting with me, because I always have fun casting with you. Hell yeah. Floor is yours. Where can people find you?
Alrighty, you can find me at twitch.tv/Jinxeekatt, just like the Nightbot has just posted. I really appreciate you guys so much, the support and love that I have gotten from everybody here. Like, last season I was a miserable caster, and I've gotten so much better, and that's all thanks to the encouragement and help from NGS. Make sure to support the Storm League prize pool if you have anything to spare. I know times are tough right now. Thank you for spending your Thursday night with me. There's a lot of places you could have been with me and Tetcher. I love you guys all. And Tets, tell them a little bit about you.
I can be found on Tetcher. I stream, I cast. I haven't been doing it as much recently because I have come down with glandular fever, which I have going into this. So I haven't been doing a little bit, but I am recovering. I am almost all the way through my antibiotics. So hopefully I'll be at full strength again soon and can get back to actually doing more stuff. But yeah, check out Tetcher on Twitter, Tetcher on Twitch. Yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. It was a rough day for me. Everyone who follows me on Twitter will know that I am sick and my dog died. So it's been a rough day. But having something like this to come to and have a good time doing and actually enjoy and see good games really, really helps. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. It has been truly our pleasure.
Thank you guys so very much. Looks like the mods are going to go ahead and get you rated over to a
Yep, we have no
channel here. Just a
Yeah.
second. All right, I believe it's slash, not exclamation point.
Correct.
They're going to send you over to Selexia, but of course you can also check out the CPogX stream. They're having a little bit of a party over there. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm sure
Or Free
it
PogX,
will
I
be.
think is what it is.
Free PX, I believe. So, or is it Free PX? It's one of the
Free
two.
PX. Thank
Free
you,
PX.
Tin.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to head off so you can get raided over. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you next time, hopefully. Check out our channel so that you can support us there. Support your casters. We like to eat. It's a thing that we need to do. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks so much for watching.